This past weekend, the New York Knicks received the news, and the news was bad. But they did the only thing they could do, recognize the opportunity. On Monday, Don Nelson returned with his Mavericks, and the Knicks began their Ewing-less mission. It had to include movement of the ball, and some stars playing at levels they have before, and a unity with commitment they've never had before. The evening was a tremendous success as New York trampled Dallas. Darryl Walker is the beleaguered coach of the Toronto Raptors. Sure, they have one of the game's exciting players in Damon Stoudemire, but wins, they don't have many of those. So it's another good chance for the Knicks to play with youthful enthusiasm and take the drive of Toronto and shift it into Jurassic Park. MSG is the network of the Knicks, and good afternoon from the world's most famous arena. It's the second time the Raptors and the Knicks will get together this season. The first appearance by Toronto at the Garden this season. Happy holidays from all of us at MSG, and good afternoon. I'm Al Troutwig. The New York Knicks will take on the Toronto Raptors today without their head coach, Darryl Walker. Walker injured his back over the Christmas break, so they turned to assistant Butch Carter to run the team today in New York. Now, Butch Carter's entire family is in New York for the holidays, but you know where they are? Over at the Meadowlands, watching Butch's brother Chris try to catch some footballs for the Minnesota Vikings today. Butch didn't have the heart to tell his family for the thought that they would feel guilty that they couldn't be here today. It's one of the interesting storylines. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the game to see how it plays out for Butch Carter today. For more on the Knicks perspective, let's go to Mike Breen and John Andres.
Okay, Al, thank you, and happy holidays, everyone. Knicks got a little holiday gift this week, John, from the schedule maker. 4 full days off between games. That just doesn't happen very often during the regular season, and it came at a very opportune time for the Knicks because they're still adjusting to life without Patrick Ewing. An adjustment they already started to make Monday in the victory over the Dallas Mavericks. The two main guys, Larry Johnson and Allen Houston, already starting to pick up the slack.
Yes, both those guys know they have to be forceful now with Patrick out, and they got into the groove the other day by being forceful. Allen Houston, of course, got off to a nice start as well. Allen's been working all year at being more aggressive offensively, and he had it while creating his own shot against Dallas. And how about this play, end-to-end for Allen Houston? Rebounding, bringing the ball up, and putting it right in the hole. Boy, that brings him back to high school days, a play like that. Larry Johnson also knows when he was in Charlotte, he was in the low post an awful lot. And that's where the Knicks want to see him a lot. And he was the other night against Dallas, and he was tough. Larry also has the option now. He goes to the corner when necessary. And that well-trained jump shot was on the other night against Dallas. So both of those guys playing with confidence to start things out without Patrick Ewing, putting up hefty numbers. 8 rebounds also for Larry Johnson in that game. And Allen Houston can go to the boards as well when necessary.
As for today's opponent, the Toronto Raptors, it has been a horrible season. Only 3 wins in 27 games. Certainly some problems as Dick Pavetta gets himself ready for another game in the NBA. Always having fun as an NBA referee. But it's been terrible. They've had injury problems. They had Isaiah Thomas, their leader, their general manager. He resigned and went to NBC Sports. But they still have one guy in Damon Stoudemire, certainly one of the bright young players in the NBA, who on any given day has the ability to dominate a game.
Yes, and he does it quite often. Damon Stoudemire, one of the outstanding young talents in the NBA, is a player really without limitation. And if the Knicks are going to have a difficult time today, it's going to be because of Stoudemire and these kind of plays. When he breaks the defense down, it makes it easy for his front line to score easy hoops. When necessary, though, the pull-up jumper is there. And sometimes you see the three-point shot as well, as opponents have seen lately. He's an unlimited talent, and the Knicks are going to focus on him today. No question. He gets to the foul line. He makes most of his shots. 7th leading assist man in the NBA. And he'll also, surprisingly, get a lot of rebounds if you let him. So he's a tough guy.
Rebounds will be key for the Knicks. Chris Dudley starts at center today in place of the injured Patrick Ewing. Starting lineups opening tip-off are next.
Hey, buddy. I'll trade you my scarf for that last Bud Light.
Come on.
But the hat? That's fair. What more could you possibly want, huh? Oh. You got a raw deal.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
I never said it was the last one.
Make it a Bud Light.
Still paying too much for car insurance? Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more. A typical car insurance agent is on the job during regular business hours. On the other hand, Geico insurance professionals are on the job 24 hours a day. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
There are millions of reasons to fly today. Only one that matters to you. At Delta Airlines, it is our pleasure to get you to the place you want to be. Delta Airlines, on top of the world.
They sweat more. They strive to find their way on a road that few have traveled. Why? Because we took away their team jerseys and 4x4s.
What the heck is that?
So you can win them in the Sprite Under the Cap game.
It's coming this way.
Why the long face, chum?
It's my car.
Let me show you how things could have been.
It's a wonderful year-end event at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. With up to $1,000 cash back on Chrysler and Plymouth minivans. Get a Plymouth Grand Voyager with $1,000 cash back. Or save $1,000 on Chrysler Town & Country LXI.
Say, are you an angel?
You watch too many movies, friend.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By the American Express card. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, American Express helps you do more. By Hertz. For business, for pleasure, nobody does it exactly like Hertz. And by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Knicks and the Raptors, matinee affair here today. Right now, let's get our starting lineups from PA announcer. And today, handling those chores, Bobby Goldwater.
Introducing the coaches and starting lineups for both teams. For the Toronto Raptors, the head coach is Darryl Walker. The assistant coaches Butch Carter, Bob Kloppenberg, John Shumate, and Jim Thomas. Due to illness, Darryl Walker is not with the team today. The athletic trainer is Chuck Mooney. And the starting lineup for the Raptors at guard, 6'6" from Pepperdine, number 13, Doug Christie. At guard, 5'10" from Arizona, number 20, Damon Stoudemire. At forward, 6'11" from Massachusetts, number 21, Marcus Camby. At forward, 6'7" from Wyoming, number 35, Reggie Slater. And at center, 6'9" from Arkansas, number 2, Oliver Miller.
No substitute for.
For your New York Knicks, the coaches are Jeff Van Gundy, Don Chaney, Brendan Malone, Tom Thibodeau, Jeff Nix, and Greg Brittenham. The athletic trainers are Mike Saunders and Saeed Hamden. From Tennessee, number 20, Allen Houston. At guard, 6'2" from Florida State, number 21, Charlie Ward. At forward, 6'7" from Nevada, Las Vegas, number 2, Larry Johnson. At forward, 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, Tri-Captain Charles Oakley. And at center, 6'11" from Yale, number 14, Chris Dudley.
On Monday night, Dudley did not play against the Mavericks. First time in 9 years he had a did not play coach's decision, but he's in the starting lineup tonight for a Knicks team that has won 10 in a row here at Madison Square Garden. Knicks 16-11 overall, but 10-1 again at MSG. This is their second game at home without Patrick Ewing. And Jeff Van Gundy talked about what he wants them to think when they take the court at home.
The mindset I want us to have is that of the underdog mentality. I want us to be a group that every night comes in and plays the same way, hard and together and with emotion. And then, we're going to, we'll win some and we're going to lose some, but if we play the same way, we'll get on some winning streaks, and that's what you need to be successful in this league.
Continuing to stress rebounding and defense. You do those two things well and you're in good shape. They need a shooter. There he is, Frank Costanza. Actually, the great Jerry Stiller. Not afraid to have it up for the cameras, John.
Well, he's sitting right next to us, and we're going to watch those moves. Well rehearsed. The man knows his game, and he's here quite often. And what a delight to see Jerry Stiller and his emerging star son, Ben, also sitting next to him.
Of course, Frank Costanza celebrating Festivus. For those Seinfeld nuts, they know what I'm talking about. For those others, I apologize.
I was on the floor the other night in Cleveland watching that show. There's Ben also.
Now, of course, the show is ending.
I just told him after we did our open, I said, Jerry, the nation is in mourning. All you have to do is look at today's papers. Because he thought it was about Patrick Ewing.
He'll probably have a spinoff.
I said, well, the Knicks fans are in mourning, that's for sure.
You saw our officials, Dick Pavetta, one of the very best in the game, has already become a bit of a ham by jumping in front of the camera once. We'll see that a number of times. And the Raptors win the opening tip. Again, Dudley at center. The center by committee. Charles Oakley started the last game. Dudley today. Buck Williams, no doubt, will start a game or two. Perhaps more. Stoudemire. Marcus Camby behind the back. Sloppy pass. And Charlie Ward comes away. 3-on-2 break. Allen Houston pulls up. Nails his first jumper.
Well, Mike, there's an interesting side story to Butch Carter taking over today for Darrell Walker. Speaking with him before the game, I was asking him about John Wallace, who started 12 of their games this season. 12 of 27 coming in today. He said, I want him angry. He said he's got so much talent. We'll talk a lot about him later, but he said, I told him the other day I was going to start him. Then he said, this morning I told him at breakfast, that's Stoudemire. I'm not going to start him. I changed my mind. He wants him angry. So he said, you watch, so I'm going to bring it in the first couple of minutes. I want him angry because today's a man's game against the Knicks.
Wallace has been wonderful on offense, but has really struggled defensively, which is not a real surprise, because that was his problem with the Knicks. Shot clock down to 8, game tied at 2. Charlie Ward, that's a 3. Ward off the mark. Reggie Slater, who's starting at the forward position, gets the rebound.
There will be a temptation by the Knicks to take quick shots, because this is not a team that the Knicks probably fear as much as many other opponents, although they certainly should. They're a very capable team.
And they count the basket and a foul. Nice move from Marcus Camby. And Dudley picks up his first, so Camby will go to the line.
The thing that's limiting, Mike, his development and impact in the NBA is the lack of a consistent jump shot. Now that's a tough shot. That's beyond a jump shot. That's a jump shot and a half.
Connects on the free throw for the three-point play. Camby just his second year out of UMass. Another one with just tremendous talent. He's been nagged a little bit by injuries this year. The Raptors, again, they're just 3-24, but they have been playing much better recently. There's Charlie Ward to Dudley. Charles Oakley left wide open and makes them pay. Oakley has admitted he has not played well this season, or at least recently, and says he will pick up his game. Dudley said the same thing, John, the other day, that he hasn't played well recently, although hasn't had a lot of minutes. Stoudemire over Dudley. Larry Johnson, the rebound. 2 minutes gone by. Knicks trail by 1. The baseline pass. Houston hesitated a moment. Now quickly puts it up. Long rebound taken by Camby. That is a tough matchup for Charles Oakley. Camby's got quickness, and it's 6'11".
Well, Camby, however, doesn't want any part of Charles Oakley's physical game, so it's Camby's job to get inside and use that height.
Doug Christie looking to post up Houston. Shot clock down to 2. Stoudemire just gets it off in time. David Stoudemire puts the Raptors up 7-4.
Butch Carter was saying how Stoudemire is not affected by the negative around him. I mean, here's a team that's 3-24, but he doesn't get down at all.
Allen Houston hits his second jumper. Knicks trail by 1, nearly 3 minutes gone by. Stoudemire brings it up the other way. He will be a free agent after this season, and he was very upset when Isaiah Thomas resigned with difficulties with the owner and has said he will probably leave and look elsewhere. Again, the shot clock winding down. Fires it up. Rattles in and out. Larry Johnson another rebound. Johnson leading the break. Oakley again left open. Hand in his face, but he still puts it in. Oliver Miller slow getting out. And the Knicks back up by 1. Three and a half gone by here in the first. Ward fights over the screen. Camby with the runner. Marcus Camby. 2 impressive shots. And the Raptors back up by 1. Camby's got 5.
Comes in today shooting at 39%, and he's looking mighty comfortable here.
No hesitation from Allen Houston, and he is now 3 of 4 from the field. That one a 3. And the Knicks are up by 2. 11-9. Houston with 7. And Butch Carter calls a 22nd timeout. Allen Houston off to a terrific start. Played well on Monday night versus Dallas. But even before the injury to Patrick Ewing, John, we saw he really had about a stretch of a dozen games where he was coming on aggressively. I want to remind you, closed captioning is brought to you by New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
I think what we're going to see, perhaps coming out of this timeout with Toronto, is some pressure, some trapping. They have improved their defense of late, measured by the opponent's field goal percentage being lower the last couple of games than it has been lately. And but they don't want to do it on a steady basis. The Knicks ruined the pressure up in Toronto that Toronto threw up, and Larry Johnson was a big reason for it. And, we'll see. Here's a look at Allen Houston from the corner. Allen has shooting on the mind, and it looks like it's a good thing for the Knicks today.
And there's the hand check. That's the new rule this year. Player facing the basket, you cannot put your hand or forearm on him before he puts the ball on the floor. And Houston picks up his first. I've not seen that called as much as we thought it was going to be called this year.
Kind of an easy one for the players to understand, though. So perhaps they're catching on quickly, unlike a lot of the rules.
Christie, and Doug Christie called for a travel. Another former Knick who has come into his own in Toronto. Very versatile player. Can still be a little erratic. But Butch Carter likes him, as does Darrell Walker. Again, Walker not here because of back problems. Houston comes across and tried to go down low to Johnson, who went the other way.
That was a pass like it looked like it was intended for Ewing. Quite high. Patrick's not here today, unfortunately for the Knicks.
11-9, Knicks lead by 2. Raptors, by the way, they lost on Monday. They then did not practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They had 3 straight days off, which is unheard of, as Christie hits a 3-pointer. And Toronto back up by 1.
Well, I'm sure the coaching staff feels pretty good the way things are starting out now, the way they're shooting the basketball.
And the Knicks have called a timeout. 7:15 remaining. Knicks are shooting 71% from the floor. They trail by 1, though.
Gotta get pumped, gotta look tough, gotta take off, gotta check out the stuff.
Gotta go to Moe's. Gotta go to Moe's.
Are you in the zone?
You know, the soccer zone.
There's something down there.
That's right.
No, I really mean it.
I really mean it too.
Something big is coming.
From now on, everybody stays on board.
It smells your fear.
Do you hear that?
It feels your panic.
It's snakes out there this big.
And it will take your breath away.
Back on the floor. Come on.
Anaconda.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
Stampede tomorrow night, 2 a.m.
It's the new NBA video for fans who like some oops with their hoops. NBA Courtside Comedy is hosted by Ahmad Rashad, and it features the best in hardwood hilarities. They're the greatest athletes in the world, but they're entitled to a day off. NBA Courtside Comedy in stores now. Also from NBA Video, it's the most prized parcel of NBA real estate. NBA in the Paint takes you into this heavily guarded territory.
Get out of the way, little fella.
NBA in the Paint in stores now.
Christmas Carol, the musical spectacular that touches you, is now playing at the theater here at Madison Square Garden. For ticket information, call Ticketmaster at 212-307-4111 or visit the Madison Square Garden box office, as I did, Mike, the other day.
What's your review?
Well, it's terrific. I know we can kid around about it, but it's terrific. It's going to be there for several more days, and if you want your heart stolen, Tiny Tim is there to take it.
Did you laugh and cry?
I did.
Did you sing along?
The whole range of emotions. And I got snowed upon, too. It's snowing in the theater as well.
Slater kicks the inbounds. 7:15 remaining here in the first. A lot of scoring early. Both teams are shooting 71% from the field. That close to a 5-count. Camby with the steal, but he stepped along the sideline.
Well, we see coming out of the timeout, they have pressure. They have trapping on the mind now. They want to shake up the Knicks in the backcourt, particularly. Very aggressive stance now by Toronto.
And as you mentioned, they're not pressing and trapping as much as they used to. That was kind of the Isaiah Thomas influence, but now with Thomas gone, Darryl Walker's kind of pulled the reins in a little bit.
Well, they want to vary it, too. They don't want to show it as a steady diet.
Charlie Ward with a three. Ward is 5th in the NBA in three-point shooting. Puts the Knicks back up by 2. We've played just over 5 minutes. And both teams shooting extremely well. There's Miller. Behind the back, fancy pass. Gets it back from Stoudemire. Miller way off the mark. Oakley outlets to Ward. Ward looking to penetrate a lot early.
Spreading the offense out.
Dudley sees the double team to fall away. Looked like Camby may have gotten a piece of it. Miller the rebound. Raptors double teaming Chris Dudley in the post. Stoudemire trying to get it to Miller. And Miller just can't track it down. Miller just so out of shape. It's a shame because he's a terrific player. He's got so many skills. They list him at 325. There's no way that he's 325. But he can still get away with playing because his skills are that good.
You're suggesting he's more like 350?
Yes, perhaps more. And he admits it. And a play like that, there's no way he can get a loose ball like that in the shape he's in. Houston. Allen Houston off to a terrific start. He is 4 of 5 from the field, and the Knicks lead by 4.
Allen Houston, with room like he's getting, is going to have a very big day.
The Raptors, although improved defensively, still last in the NBA as opponents are shooting 48% from the field against them. Stoudemire over Johnson. He's hit a couple of tough shots. And the Knicks lead is cut to 2. Stoudemire's got 7. Larry Johnson trying to get free. Allen Houston, an open three-pointer. Fight for the rebound. Dudley tips it, but Slater comes away. Reggie Slater now makes his move. And Slater able to put it in to tie the game at 16.
Knicks weren't paying attention. Slater got the ball below the foul line before he was picked up. That's not acceptable.
And then Charlie Ward called for travel on the inbound, so the Knicks turn it over. Only their second turnover. Knicks coming off the game, the Mavericks game, their lowest turnovers of the season, just 8 against the Mavericks.
Yes, only cost them 4 points.
Christie called for his second travel. see Charlie Ward when he turned it over.
Ball moves up court, and he got confused there, causing the turnover.
Not expecting the defender to be there. There's a foul away from the ball. Christie trying to fight through a screen is called for. Ward and Childs, by the way, have done an excellent job as you see Mills coming into the game. Ward and Childs have both been very strong at turning it over. Ward only 4 turnovers his last 4 games. John Wallace comes in. Childs just 5 turnovers his last 7 games. And there's Wallace's numbers. Obviously, with the minutes and the team he's playing on, he's going to see a lot of scoring. Rifle pass, but Houston was out of bounds.
Coach Carter said that this is a revenge game for John Wallace. He said it with a smile. In other words, he expects a big game out of Wallace, and if not a big game, big energy and commitment by him. You never know if the ball's going to go in. Charlie Ward on a good steal on Stoudemire.
3-on-1 break. Oakley, Johnson, back to Oakley. Johnson right there to tip in the follow. Knicks back up by 2 with 4:10 remaining. Christie, open 3 for Doug Christie. His second 3. And the Raptors back up by 1. Ward's pass kicked, so the Knicks will take it out and get a new 24. And a 20-second timeout right now called by the Knicks. Right now, Allen Houston leading the Knicks in scoring. He's got 9 on 4 of 6 from the field. Very aggressive with the ball, John.
Yes, Allen with half the Knicks' points so far. Wide open shot. No problem for him. Jump shooters love to have a good look at the basket. It's only natural, and he's getting it today. Look at that space between the defender and the shooter. Lots of space. And Allen's having a good time so far.
Yeah, the shooting, both teams excellent. The Knicks at 67%, but the Raptors at 73% from the field.
Last sequence with Charlie Ward. Low getting down there, taking that ball from Stoudemire. Charles Oakley gets the ball to the middle where it belongs. The shot back in his hands rather than a pass. He misses the soft lefty, but Larry Johnson was there.
Stoudemire harassing Ward, knocked it away a couple of times, but stepped out of bounds when he grabbed it. So Knicks will take it out. 18 on the shot clock. 3:55 remaining in the first. Johnson against Miller. Johnson feed to Oakley, and Charles Oakley puts it away on a beautiful pass from Larry Johnson.
You see when Larry Johnson banged into Oliver Miller, you know what? He stopped quick.
He went the other way. 20-19. Wallace now will post up Mills. Big height advantage there for Wallace. Stoudemire with another 3. David Stoudemire now with 8 points. Check that 9. And the Raptors are up by 2. Johnson given the opportunity to shoot, knocks it down. Miller's not going to come out and defend him on the perimeter.
Oh, he's not. If he does come out, Larry Johnson will be happy to take him out even further, because despite Miller's athleticism at his extended weight, he can still, Larry Johnson, get around him.
Mills knocks it away. Wallace gets it back. Drives into Ward. Johnson picks up the loose ball. Houston finds Mills. Oakley. And one too many passes, a 3-second violation is going to be called on Larry Johnson.
Timeout, Toronto.
Now they'll call a timeout. 2:49 remaining here in the first. Knicks and Raptors all tied at 22.
Of all the ways to celebrate the end of the year, add Oldsmobile to the list, like Cutlass and 88, part of Oldsmobile's year-end bonus buys. Save $1,500 on Oldsmobile 88, Consumer Digest's best buy 8 years in a row. Or slip into the stylish leather-trimmed interior of the V6 Cutlass at a sleek 2.9% financing. So right now is the best time to make a resolution you'll enjoy sticking with. Get a new Oldsmobile today.
There are millions of reasons to fly today. Only one that matters to you. At Delta Airlines, it is our pleasure to get you to the place you want to be. Delta Airlines, on top of the world.
Welcome to the Nissan Cross Country Sales Event, where you'll find everyday value on the new 98 Nissan Altima. That's right, a 98 Nissan Altima for just $229 a month. The car ranked best car in its class in initial quality by J.D. Power. Consumers Digest calls it a best buy. Now at your Nissan dealer, you can lease the 98 Altima for just $229 a month for 39 months. Initial payment just $999. But hurry, this 98 Altima lease offer of $229 a month ends January 5th.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. A lot of young friends, as always. Matinee games, that's one of the fun parts about playing during the day. A lot of the kids here watch the Knicks, are right now in 7th place in the Eastern Conference in a very crowded Eastern Conference. Only 3 games, actually 4, but 3 in the loss column, separate the #1 team and the #9 team. Wow.
Look who the next 2 opponents are for the Knicks, too. Orlando, twice actually, 2 of the next 3. And then New Jersey next Friday at New Jersey.
Game tied at 22. John Tabak has come on for Toronto. He's out there with Christie, Stoudemire, Wallace, and Camby. Childs has come in now for the Knicks. Camby on the pull-up. Oakley gets the rebound. Knicks have Johnson, Mills, and Oakley in the front court. Houston and Childs in the back court. Starks just getting off the bench for the first time. Allen Houston with a drive, tied up. Shot clock down to 8. Mills fakes a 3. Ball deflected. Oakley right there. 2 on the shot clock. Allen Houston, 2-pointer, in and out. Tabak the rebound. Oakley knocks it away. But Stoudemire will bring it up.
The Knicks are not going to have the luxury of shooting, say, 40% in a game this year, particularly at home, and doing well. So they've got to make those open jump shots.
Tabak, the long rebound, missed, and Stoudemire right there. The margin for error is much, much smaller now with Patrick Ewing out as Christie misses the 3. Childs gets the rebound. Childs pass into traffic. Christie intercepts. Nice outlet, Stoudemire. And Damon Stoudemire, beautiful move, and the Raptors go up by 2.
I mean, Childs tried to throw that pass through 2 defenders who are in front of Larry Johnson. Now you either got to look, throw the lead pass to him. He had tall people around him. He was asking too much of himself.
Knicks with 5 turnovers here in the first quarter. Again, they had 8 the entire game on Monday. Knicks trailing by 2. Houston trying to take Camby, and he's fouled. And Allen Houston will go to the line. Buck Williams and John Starks set to come in. Starks is going to have to wait with Houston at the line. Foul goes against Camby as first. And there's the 37-year-old Buck Williams, who played one of his better games on Monday against the Mavericks as Oakley takes a rest. Oakley, who's not been shooting well, 3 of 4 from the field here in the first.
Jaws has to also, as the overused phrase implies, step up offensively. He's got to get interested in offense. Don't be so unselfish.
And the shooting continues to be strong and even. Houston missing that free throw. Houston's been on a free throw shooting tear, but goes 1 of 2. Saw Chris Garner, number 00, in the game for Stoudemire. Wallace the shot. Fight for the rebound. Johnson tips it away. Good help from Johnson. 45 seconds remaining. Chris Mills a 3. Camby the board. Hands it off to Garner. Garner, a little point guard, 5'10", was not drafted. Went to Memphis.
And the Knicks come down and get into their offense. 1 pass and a jump shot means no chance at an offensive rebound because there's no motion on the court.
Johnson again tips it to Childs. Christie, though, comes up with a steal. And let's see who they call the foul on. As Christie and Childs both, they're going to call it on Christie. Christie thinks, no way. Christie thought it was going to be called against Childs. He was walking down the other end.
Well, he in fact pushed Childs. And then as many times a player will try and do is win the battle, but the decision was already made when the whistle was blown. See, Christie pushed Childs. You heard the whistle. That was self-satisfying until he found out the direction of the foul shooter.
Dick Bavetta, who, as we mentioned, as Childs hits the first free throw, is one of the best refs in the game. Very upset with Christie. just told him conversation's over. That was a foul. Be quiet. Rivera, long-time favorite. A lot of people really enjoys what he does. Has a good time when he's officiating a game. A lot of officials today, they have that stern look on their face. And that's fine, as long as they do their job. But Rivera really, it shows that he loves what he does.
Yeah, and he communicates well, as you're indicating, Mike, with the players.
Final seconds to Bach is short. Buck Williams. Knicks have 2 seconds to get it off. Johnson from half court. You will not count. And misses anyway. And that will end the first quarter. Both teams shooting over 50% here in the first. Allen Houston leading with 10. And the Knicks lead by 1.
Hope my car gets fixed today.
And my sink. And my furnace.
And my lawnmower.
What? You idiot! You're gonna get us caught.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down,
Eddie!
make it a Bud Light.
She always did have a unique way of expressing herself.
The lines have a simple architectural look. I've never seen anything like it.
She's changed the whole category.
She had a vision.
American Express treats me like I'm one of a kind. If you're a card member, you're an original.
Why the long face, chum?
It's my car.
Let me show you how things could have been.
It's a wonderful year-end event at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. On Plymouth Neon and Breeze, get $1,500 cash back or 1.9 APR for up to 60 months. That could save you from $2,700 up to $3,000 in finance charges.
Say, are you an angel? You watch too many movies, friend.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the 68,000 professionals at Delta Airlines. By American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, American Express helps you do more. And by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
Second quarter is set to begin. Knicks lead the Raptors 25-24. Houston leads the Knicks with 10. David Stoudemire leading the Raptors with 11. He's been very impressive.
Well, as expected, Stoudemire is the man for this team. He's off to a good start, driving, shooting the jump shot. Plays with great energy, inside-outside game. Wallace to Stoudemire works. And then if he's around the basket with one man, he can usually figure out a way to get the ball to the hole.
Stoudemire, 5 of 7 from the field. It's just his third year in the league. Each year gets a little better. Still sometimes tries to do too much. Shoots perhaps a little too much for a point guard. But he's, without question, their best scorer. A team that's won 3 times in 27 games. Childs off the screen. Childs with a penetration. Nice feed to Buck Williams. Spotted by Camby. Camby with the block. Raptors, the #1 shot blocking team in the NBA. 7.5 per game. Camby's had 8 in a game this year. 7 in a game a couple of times. Wallace again posting up, this time over Mills. And John Wallace gives the Raptors a 1-point lead. Opening minute here in the second starts. Feed underneath to Johnson. Slapped away by Garner, but a foul.
Well, Larry did what many big men do throughout their career. When he got the ball, he dribbled first. And that gave the defense a split second to get there and tie him up a bit. Good, strong drive by Starks. Larry Johnson dribbles. The defense closes on him. At least he draws the foul out of the play. Next time, he'll want to go right up instead of dribbling the ball.
Johnson hitting the free throw. Johnson shooting just under 70%. That pad, and hadn't noticed that in prior games, John. I think that's the first time he's wearing that. No word from the Knicks on any injury.
Might have picked up a bruise in some of these long practices the Knicks are having these days.
Rough practices with the likes of Oakley, Dudley, and Buck Williams. Johnson goes 1 of 2 from the line. Game tied at 26. We've played a minute here in the second. Along with John Andres, Mike Green on hand. A 230th consecutive sellout at Madison Square Garden. Childs giving Stoudemire a little bit of room. Couple of spins. There's the double. Garner left open for 3. Chris Garner as the shot clock expires. Garner, that's his first 3-point make of his career, his young career. Missed down the other end. Raptors quickly come the other way. Sean Respert, who's an excellent 3-point shooter. He's number 24 in the game now. Wallace on a pull-up. And John Wallace gives the Raptors a 5-point lead. That's their largest lead. And Jeff Van Gundy wants to talk it over. So a quick run here to start the second. 10:15 remaining. Second quarter. Knicks down 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to announce today's
The Knicks are in Orlando to battle the Magic after MCS Cannon game night, Tuesday night on MSG.
To accomplish everything you need to do on the ground, often you have to spend time in the sky. Now, what you do both places can help you get where you really want to go. Introducing the Delta Sky Miles credit card from American Express, giving you American Express service on the ground and Delta Airlines service in the sky.
You can apply now. Just call 1-800-482-9500.
With the Delta Sky Miles credit card, every dollar you spend gets you a Delta Sky Mile. And when you buy your Delta ticket with it, you gain even faster. You get 1.5 Sky Miles for every dollar you spend. Plus, you receive 5,000 bonus Sky Miles automatically with the card. And when you apply now, you'll benefit from this low introductory rate.
Call 1-800-482-9500. We can take all the information in just a few minutes.
Call today. The sooner you get the Delta Sky Miles credit card, the sooner you can get someplace you really want to go.
It starts with a whisper.
And we're going to cover the whole area
Some
today.
heed the call, but it speaks to all of us. It's about our towns, our cities, our lives. It's about what we can do for tomorrow. It's about pitching in, giving back, and getting it done. And soon that whisper will become a chorus, and its voice will be heard. We will make a difference. Volunteer to improve your community.
Now, this contest has potential to be either fantastic or extremely embarrassing, as you can imitate your favorite sportscaster, local or national sportscaster. Send us a home video, and the best entries will be considered for a live show in March. Mail the tape to MSG, Post Office Box JAF 310 3210, New York, New York 10116.
I think if it's embarrassing, it'll be fantastic for many people, you know?
Absolutely. I've got one. How about, since he's sitting right next to you, Michael K's Larry Johnson, left hand, and a foul. See ya. How about that? Pretty good?
That's good.
They can use that in basketball. They use this in baseball.
Mike's hearing, if his hearing was better, he would have enjoyed that. He was sitting right next to us. Larry Johnson inside. Nice bounce pass to Larry, and he goes to that left hand quite successfully.
John Tabak with his first foul. Johnson 7 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of assists. Make it 8 points now. Knicks within 2. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter, 31-29. Toronto still shooting extremely well, 59%. That's not a number Jeff Van Gundy will be happy with.
They usually, for the season, are at 43%.
And there, a whistle, an offensive foul. Tabak pushing off, picks up his second. And there's Michael Kay. Just kind of taking it all in. He's got a busy day today. He's going to be doing sideline reporting for the ECAC Holiday Festival tonight. Starks sees the double team. Knicks swing it. Nice ball fake from Mills. Childs with a baseline move. Chris Childs, beautiful move to the basket. And the Knicks have tied it at 31. And Stoudemire, you have to play off a little bit because he'll drive right by it. He's called for travel. Good defense from Childs. It's a difficult situation, John. You have to play off him a little bit, but he's so quick to release that long three-pointer.
That's why he is a already a star in the NBA. He's got so much talent. All he has to do now over coming years is continue to refine the talent.
Giles seeing a double team. And there's the full court pressure. Feed down little Larry Johnson. Just handle it for a second. Buck Williams underneath.
Boy, the Knicks are getting room, and they are taking advantage. Strong. You can see Buck Williams was not going to be stopped.
A 7-0 run. Knicks back up by 2. Wallace going against the man he practiced quite a bit against. Those two matched up when he was with the Knicks. Buck Williams and Slater going at it a bit. Knicks come away with the ball.
Johnson is enjoying getting down court quickly, getting the low post position that he wants.
Hands it off to Childs and knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Knicks. Their 6th turnover. 33-31. Knicks, as you see, with 7 straight points. They lead by 2. Largest lead by either team was 5. Raptors had that just a short time ago. Wallace. Way short. Buck Williams right there for the rebound.
Johnson break down court quickly. Knicks got to recognize that. He's got his hands up and small people on him. Still didn't get the ball.
Starks his 2-pointer off the mark. Garner. Nice feed underneath, and Slater slams it in. They let him hang there because Buck Williams was underneath him. And Slater had to make sure he didn't fall on him. Otherwise, it'd be a technical foul for hanging on the rim. But a good no call from the officials.
Even though this place is filled with Knicks fans, Hoop fans have to enjoy that pass.
Game tied at 33. Starks to Johnson. And Johnson draws the foul. Slater feeling it shouldn't have been a charge. He may have been in that restricted area. Either way, Slater picks up the foul. Johnson back to the line. And see Johnson talking right there. We'll get back to that in a minute.
Here's a look at the New York Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Beautiful pass from Johnson to Buck Williams, and a strong finish by Buck. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Johnson short on the first free throw, but you saw just that moment at the end of that replay. Put his arm around Starks, have a word for him, perhaps telling him, hey, there was no need for that shot. There was some traffic there. I was ahead on the break.
All right, just give me a look. Give me a look. Keep your eyes open.
Those are the, the leadership intangibles that he's been a big part of, starting at the end of last year. 1 of 2 from the line once again. Johnson 9 points. Knicks lead by 1. 8 straight points by the Knicks. 7.5 remaining. And Respert foul. Starks there.
Your foul charge for John Starks. That's his first personal foul.
And Oakley comes back in. By the way, that Knick run ended at 7. Slater had that basket. So Knicks lead by 1, 34-33. 7:32 remaining, and Johnson off to another good start. Though he's upset with missing some free throws. Almost a steal. Miller. Sean Respert. Miller underneath and a travel.
Amazing though, Mike, how mobile he is. Look at him bouncing around at 300+ pounds.
As I said earlier, it's a shame because he's so skilled.
Butch Carter was telling me before the game. He said this guy is one of the smartest basketball people. That's John Starks down low. One of the most learned basketball people he's ever worked with. He said, I draw a play for him during a timeout, and we come out and he executes it perfectly. He's got a great understanding. He really picks up the game so fast.
Knocked away by Mills. Knicks force another turnover. Come on the break to 4-on-3. Starks to Childs. Good ball movement again. Starks squares up. Can't put it down. Fight for the rebound. Oakley. And gets it back out to Childs. Knicks getting an ovation for their hustle. Knicks on a 10-2 run. They lead by 3 with just over 6.5 remaining in the second. Starks lost the dribble but punched it out again. Mills picks it up. No backcourt because of the deflection. Mills underneath. Tries to tip it again. Knicks still fighting for it. Oakley comes away. Knicks working hard on the boards. They have a 15-12 edge in the rebounding department. Starks, a three. Slater the rebound.
Well, the fans enjoyed the effort, that's for sure, and it was there.
We're midway through the second, and Toronto wants to talk it over. Assistant coach Butch Carter, the man in charge. Darrell Walker not here with back problems, and the Knicks leading by 3.
Welcome to the Nissan Cross Country Sales Event, where you'll find everyday value on the new 98 Nissan Maxima. That's right. Lease a new 98 Nissan Maxima for just $299 a month. It comes well equipped with a standard 190 horsepower V6 engine, automatic in air, power windows and locks, all for an incredible $299 a month for 39 months. Initial payment just $599. But hurry, this 98 Maxima lease offer of $299 a month ends January 5th.
Events always seem to run out of cool, stylish stuff by the time you get there. Before you can say rain check, it's Lando leftovers. Why is getting the good selection of the good stuff such a big deal? Should be a non-event.
There's plenty of driving excitement to choose from at your Tri-State Pontiac dealer. With special factory incentives, you can lease a Grand Am GT for just $199 a month for 36 months. Just $199 a month.
That's got to be an impulse buy.
Only at your Tri-State Pontiac dealer.
Knicks with a long stretch of home games. Played Monday at home, today at home. Now they do go on the road on Tuesday, and in New Jersey, then back against Orlando as we look at our Delta Airlines schedule. A Tuesday game. Our coverage begins a little later. NCS Cannon game night at 7:30. Friday, the game against the Nets on Sports Channel. But a lot of home games coming up in the month of January, John, after what was a tough early schedule.
Punishing, Mike. Punishing schedule.
I like that word. 36-33. Oliver Miller throws it back for Camby, knocked away by Oakley. Knocked out of bounds, and it's Knicks ball. Also for Charles Oakley, forcing that turnover, the 11th by the Raptors. Just over 5.5 remaining in the second. Knicks with a 3-point lead. Starks. And a ball ripped down by Slater.
Need a team right now with an imposing, real defensive intimidator, although Camby is certainly capable of that as the game's leading shot blocker here. Oh, inside move. And Oliver Miller misses, but powers his way to the tip-in.
Again, another instance where you saw Nick, this time Buck Williams, just kind of bounce off him.
Yes, a lot of man there.
1 point Knick lead. Knicks have missed their last 6 shots, make it 7. Buck Williams tips it, Slater comes away.
And they are getting open looks.
Knicks now down to 45% shooting. The Raptors remain up at 55%. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Miller the feed to Slater, and Reggie Slater on a pretty pass.
When the offensive man can cut in front of the defender in the paint, you're in trouble.
Slater now with 6 points. Slater, another guy who's bounced around. Buck Williams makes his move. Knicks by 1, 38-37.
Mike, before you mentioned Buck Williams' fine game against Dallas, well, he's off to another good start. He was 5 out of 6 the other day. 12.7 rebounds in only 24 minutes.
He's as consistent as anyone on this team. Was so last year. Stoudemire, boy, what a tough shot that is.
He's driving right and then brings the ball up left-handed and shoots over the defense from the right side. Super tough.
And Childs played him well. Chris Mills misfires. Williams the offensive rebound. Starks, three-pointer. No, his foot was on the line. Starks connects. And it's 40-39. Knicks by 1. Just over 3.5 remaining in the second. Canby with Mills on him. Now Slater against Oakley. And Slater drives by him. Oakley bumps him. And Charles Oakley picks up the foul. Knicks not over the limit. Second team foul. First on Oakley.
So look at how tough Stoudemire can be. Goes right with the left hand, then comes back to the left hand from the right side of the body. Boy, that's versatility.
The only thing better Childs could have done on that is block it. He played him perfectly. Made him take what looked like a bad shot. Allen Houston's back in the game. Chris Mills sitting down. Canby is being guarded by Allen Houston, who fouls him. That's the third team foul. And second on Houston. Houston, the only Knick with 2 fouls, so no foul difficulties here in the first half. Houston is guarding Canby right now. The Raptors are going to go right at Canby. Gets triple team and dribbles away.
6'11" Canby looking for the jump shot.
Buck Williams comes over, and a foul called on Buck Williams. He's not pleased with it. Quickly, the fourth team foul. 3 fouls in the last about 14 seconds.
Is it quiet here all of a sudden, or what?
It's been pretty quiet most of the first half. Miller misses. Canby the rebound underneath to Slater, and Oakley goes underneath him, and Slater could have been really hurt by that. The Raptor bench falling for a flagrant foul. Count the basket and 1. Oakley picks up his second foul.
Take a look at Charles Oakley now. Slater gets the ball. I don't know what Charles had in mind, but he certainly could have hurt him. It looked like he was trying to get out of the way.
Yep.
I don't think there was, certainly didn't appear to be an intention to hurt. But
well, that's the type of play that somebody can get hurt on.
But that, in fact, has the effect of submarining a player, even though the intention wasn't there.
This is only the second free throw attempt by the Raptors in the first half. They're now 1 of 2. Johnson the rebound. Just under 3 minutes remaining, second quarter. Knicks trailing by 1. It's been a fairly entertaining first half. Certainly close throughout. Largest lead has been 5. Raptors have that. Knicks once had a 4-point advantage. Childs over Miller, and Miller got a piece of it. Canby, quick outlet to the basket hanging Christie. Christie's fouled and puts it in. If you're going to commit that foul, you have to make sure he does not get the shot off. Instead, Christie will have a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, Doug Christie at 6'6", had the height. You see the shot deflected. Good look up court to Christie, who's wide open. And a strong effort by Childs, but Christie right there to finish.
Christie, the third leading scorer on the team at over 13 per game. That's down from last year when he averaged 14.5 points per game.
Fortunately, Reggie Slater before, not hurt on this play, as Oakley took a stance of being a defender for a second, and he looked like he was leaving the scene, but fortunately Slater falling down over Oakley did not get hurt.
Well, he tried to poke it away. He was leaning down to try and deflect it. That's why he was down in the first place. And Slater still on the floor. On the court, I mean, not on the floor. Up, standing, and playing. Ball knocked out of bounds. Knicks will have it. Knicks trailing by 4. And there you see the Knicks really struggling here at the end of the second quarter. Pass telegraphed. Christie picks it off. Oakley comes down the other end and knocks it away from behind. Childs ahead, nice feed, quick to Houston, and Houston explodes to the basket. But it all starts with Charles Oakley's hustle on defense. Knicks down by 2, just under 2 minutes remaining, second quarter.
And Childs picking up Stoudemire right at half court, not trying to allow him any room to get going.
Houston picks up Stoudemire on the switch. Childs now fronting Christie. Stoudemire should try and get him the ball down. Instead, Christie has to come out. 2 on the shot clock, quick 3. And Doug Christie hits another 3, his third here in the first half.
He's actually a 4% three-point shooter, but he has no problem firing them up. 25% three-point range this year.
But 3 of 4 today. Knicks down by 5. Oakley turns and shoots. And Charles Oakley has found the stroke. He is 4 of 5 from the field. Knicks are down 3. Christie again with 3 of those 5 3-pointers for the Raptors. Again, the Knicks switch on the pick. Now they lob it into Christie. Double team, tries to get away, and he's fouled. Knicks are now over the limit. Childs called for it. That's his second. 56.7 seconds remaining before halftime. And coming up, the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. Al Troutwig spoke with Ernie Grunfeld prior to today's game. We'll have that interview for you at halftime. Plus Al with highlights.
Christie leading his team from the foul line this year at 86%.
Childs comes the other way. Houston feeds Johnson down low. Johnson can't connect but gets hit. Smart play there by Allen Houston as he saw the mismatch. Doug Christie guarding Larry Johnson, and Houston may have had an open jumper, but he liked the opportunity down low. Good play.
The Raptors' first foul in the last 2 minutes.
Johnson using that lower body to get the position he wanted. Larry Johnson had his season high in their first matchup with Toronto on November 12th. 27-point game. Really, he broke loose in that game. Led the Knicks to a 23-point victory over Toronto.
Sean Tabak, by the way, picked up that last foul, his third. Buck Williams and John Wallace come in. Johnson now just 3 of 6 from the line. Oakley will sit down. Strong first half from Oakley. Johnson now 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Misses both. Buck Williams tips it up in the air, but Slater has it. Knicks trailing by 4. A 3 is out of bounds. Stoudemire off the mark. 37.9 seconds remain. That Mighty Mousey has that tattoo, Stoudemire, on the right arm.
Yeah, I think so.
It's on the right arm. Yep, I think that's what it is. Allen Houston ahead of the pack.
We all need an inspirational figure in our lives, Mike.
Stoudemire bumps him. And that's the 15th foul, so Allen Houston will go to the line. First on Stoudemire. Yep. How does that song go? Should I? Do I dare? Here I am to save the day. Isn't that what he says?
Very good. A holiday treat from Mike Breen.
Houston, it's the free throw. Allen Houston from the free throw line is up to 84%. He leads the Knicks in that department. And a good first half from Houston. He's the game's leading scorer with 14. Stoudemire has 13 to lead the Raptors. Half minute remaining, first half. Knicks trailing by 2. Stoudemire, a lot of dribbling. And Wallace looking to post up Mills. 5 on the shot clock. Excellent defense from Mills. Wallace still hits the shot.
You can see why they built their offensive strategy around him on that play.
Bad pass from Mills. 2 seconds to go. Camby will have a shot. Goes the alley-oop. And Wallace, that will not count. As the buzzer sounded, and that will end the first half. The young Raptors struggling. Just 3 wins in 27 games, but they're giving the Knicks a battle here this afternoon. Allen Houston leading the Knicks with 14. Halftime of the Garden, the Raptors 50 and the Knicks 46. Al Troutwig speaks with Ernie Grunfeld when we return.
College Hoops is back. Catch great players and matchups from the Big East, A-10, Northeast, and MAC conferences. UConn battles Hartford tomorrow afternoon on MSG.
So a shot here will have to be miraculous, and it is! Oh, there goes! He got it, and Portland wins! He's going to have to launch Barkley's got it.
Yes! Barkley for three! Oh, no!
Here's Reggie. Here's the shot.
You gotta love it!
To accomplish everything you need to do on the ground, often you have to spend time in the sky. Now, what you do both places can help you get where you really want to go. Introducing the Delta Sky Miles credit card from American Express, giving you American Express service on the ground and Delta Airlines service in the sky.
You can apply now. Just call 1-800-482-9500.
With the Delta Sky Miles credit card, every dollar you spend gets you a Delta Sky Mile. And when you buy your Delta ticket with it, you gain even faster. You get 1.5 Sky Miles for every dollar you spend. Plus, you receive 5,000 bonus Sky Miles automatically with the card. And when you apply now, you'll benefit from this low introductory rate.
Call 1-800-482-9500. We can take all the information in just a few minutes.
Call today. The sooner you get the Delta Sky Miles credit card, the sooner you can get someplace you really want to go.
The game really is a lot like jazz. You can take a jazz quintet and actually liken it to 5 people on a basketball court. The point guard would be like the piano player, because in most bands the piano is like the brain. Then you have the power forward, which is like the drummer. I think that small forward position, I'd have to give that to that tenor saxophone. But I think if I was a coach, I wouldn't put me in the game. I play a good anthem, man.
Call 1-800-THE-DIME.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
We're back on MSG at Madison Square Garden, and you're watching the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. I'm Al Trautwig in our studios with Knicks President and General Manager Ernie Grunfeld, and what a tumultuous week it's been. And I wonder, Ernie, how things work behind the scenes. I think fans are fascinated by it. Do teams start calling you now because they think you're wounded and maybe willing to accept some sort of a deal, or was it quiet over the holidays?
Well, it was pretty quiet over the holidays. I'm sure the phones will start ringing a little bit next week. But
so they will call and they'll sort of inquire and poke and prod and see where you may be vulnerable?
Well, I think there are some teams that will do that, and that's natural for this business. You always talk anyway, you know, whether you have injuries or not, so you always have a lot of conversations. But I think what we need to concentrate on is to take care of business with the players that we have. Of course, there's a lot of players out there that you love to have on your roster, but we want to focus in on what we have right here. We have some players that need to step up, need to take up some of the slack that Patrick has left us. It's not going to be Chris Dudley. It's not going to be Charles Oakley. It's going to be a collective team effort. That's the only way it can be done.
Has Patrick Ewing said to you what apparently he said to John Starks about thinking he could come back for the playoffs?
Well, he hasn't said that to me directly, but
so what do you think about that?
I don't think there's much of a chance of that, but I'm glad to see that he's thinking along those lines. You know, it shows me that he's motivated, and he's going to do whatever it takes to come back as soon as possible.
You told me that you know, one of the only things you can do is sort of keep track of what's going on in the NBA, who might be available, maybe check out the CBA and Europe. How do you keep track of players that you don't have videotapes of, games that aren't televised? Who do the Knicks have out there?
Well, we have several scouts. We have a full-time European scout. We have a CBA scout, and we have our scouts, Dickie McGuire, Scott McGuire, Eddie Tapscott is always out there watching players and coordinating the whole thing for us. So we have a good feel of who's out there. Obviously, the good players are on somebody else's roster at this time. So there's no cavalry coming over the hill, so to speak, you know, in the free agent market or in the CBA. But there may be one or two players that can come in and maybe give us a little bit of a boost, and those are the kind of players that we're going to try to focus in on here in the next week or two. do.
I think some people have said things that have been misconstrued. I know Jeff Van Gundy was sort of angry at people who thought the Knicks are going to be better without Patrick Ewing. I think a lot of people, though, think, and we spoke to Dave Checketts the other day about this, is that the Knicks become a compelling team now because they're the underdog, and Jeff has acknowledged that, and they become very intriguing to see how they're going to play this and who's going to step up and how are they going to do it and can they be consistent. You yourself have to be very interested to see how this is all going to play out.
I think this is going to be a great challenge for our players. First of all, obviously, we're not going to be a better team without Patrick Ewing. Whoever thinks that is silly. Patrick Ewing is a great, great player. We're going to play a different style of play than we've been accustomed to playing, and that's going to be a work in progress. You know, we don't know exactly what it's going to be. We don't know how long it's going to take us to get to where we want to go, but some of the things we want to do is we want to get some more easy opportunities in transition, maybe fast break a little bit more, and we definitely have to have a lot more ball movement to get some easy opportunities for some of our perimeter players. So the more we move the basketball, the more penetration we can get and kick it back out for some open jump shots, the more effective we'll be.
Ernie, thanks a lot, and Happy New Year.
Okay, same to you.
Ernie Grunfeld, President and General Manager of the New York Knicks. We will continue with the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report in a moment on MSG.
Son, you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep. Think back. Remember when you were 6 and we took you to McDonald's for your birthday party? All the kids, all the fun. All for you, son. For you. Remember that day, son? Remember when someone stole your fries, but we never found out who? Never found out.
It was him. Did somebody say McDonald's?
Hello.
Hello. I just enrolled my company in this healthcare plan, and I need some information on a small procedure.
Oh, fine. Just wait a moment and we can call Debbie at Central.
Debbie? Who's Debbie? My doctor's not Debbie.
You love Debbie. Debbie's at your healthcare company. She's in charge of your health.
Is she a doctor?
No, but she's really nice. She was a cheerleader. And as long as Debbie's been at your healthcare company, no one here has ever missed a birthday card.
I want my doctor.
Well, we could just ask Debbie.
Is your business healthcare plan all that it should be? Or is Debbie making important decisions about your healthcare? With HIP coverage, doctors make healthcare decisions, not administrators. Call your broker or call HIP at this number for information about our affordable small business plans, including plans in New York that let you choose any doctor, anywhere. Call and get a 10-minute prepaid long-distance calling card and our free brochure on small business plans. This offer expires soon, so call now.
Debbie wants you to leave now.
So where do you get your health care?
It's HIP. The clock is ticking. Don't wait to escape. Join Delta's New York Escape Plan and fly away on weekends to places you've dreamed about at savings you won't believe. Call 1-800-895-2005 to sign up. Then get ready to escape for less on Delta.
Hi, I'm John Andres along with Mike Green, and we'd like to wish you a very happy holiday season. Mike, did I leave out anything? How about Happy New Year?
Stampede tomorrow night, 2 a.m.
What time is it?
Nothing gets you closer to the Chicago Bulls than the official NBA championship video, featuring the NBA champions' greatest moments. Exclusive interviews and behind-the-scenes footage that will make you feel like you're part of the team.
He comes off. I'll be ready. In traffic to Curl. 15-footer.
Get yours in stores now through NBA.com or order by calling 1-800-NBA-STUFF from NBA Video.
Some of our announcers' clothing is furnished by Perry Ellis Menswear.
We're back at the Garden, and the halftime scoring summary is brought to you by the new Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited. From 0 to 60, it's the world's fastest sport utility vehicle, the new Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited. The Toronto Raptors have the lead, so they've got the honors, and Doug Christie and Damon Stoudemire combined for 26 first-half points. After that, Slater with 8, John Wallace, the ex-Knick, with 6, Marcus Camby with 5. As for the New York Knicks, 3 of their 5 starters didn't even get a rebound. As for the scoring, it's Allen Houston with 14 points. He's come to the rescue, 5 of 8. Larry Johnson has 9. Oakley's got 8, and 3 others with 4. Chris Dudley got the start. He gets no rebounds and doesn't score at all. You've got Chris Mills, John Andres, 2 for his last 17. So you got a Knick team that's not shooting the ball well, not really doing the job off the boards, and allowing too many open Raptor shots.
Well, this is where the luxury of Patrick Ewing is missed, Al. And as Mike and I were saying, the Knicks they're not able to play at a high level with this kind of down play. They've had some low moments here, although they're competing hard, but they got to lift up their shooting, among other things.
Will 2 for his last 20, actually, is Chris Mills. Let's go now to the highlights, and they're brought to you by Jeep Wrangler, original top-down on- and off-road fun machine, Jeep Wrangler. John, what have you got for us?
Well, Knicks are competing very hard. They had very good moments, periods of the first half, like the steal by Charlie Ward on Stoudemire, initiating a break for the Knicks. Charles Oakley giving that ball up unselfishly, finishing with the left hand, didn't quite make it, but Larry Johnson was there to tip it in. A lot of hustle by the Knicks throughout the half. They move the ball from side to side. There's a steal, and how about an Oakley recovery and a steal back by Charles Oakley. That lit up the crowd, and Charles pushes that ball forward, and Allen Houston finishes with a slam dunk, one of his 5 field goals of the first half. But the Raptors are led by a backcourt that's very, very tough. That's Damon Stoudemire with a spectacular finish on one of his drives. And of course, when they're in town, you know that Doug Christie is going to think about doing a lot of scoring against his old team. And Christie in the groove these days for the Toronto Raptors, where he has found a comfort zone. It's that long bomb, and the Raptors right now have presented themselves as a very competitive team despite their very poor record coming in.
John, since Walt Frazier is home for the holidays, you don't have to be good on the radio. You've got to be good on the tube. It'll be the second half on MSG with the Knicks looking to overcome this 4-point deficit. You've been watching the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
This wedding was paid for with the help of mutual funds from MetLife. Whatever you're saving for, MetLife can review your options, explain the risks, and help you decide what can work best for you. We'll help you make sense of it all. Get Met. It pays.
So, guys, what do we want to do this weekend?
Let's go to the beach.
It happened at 10 till 6 on a Tuesday night, just before the steamed carrots were served.
Guys, it's important. Shh. Yes, this is Louisa. What are you saying?
A phone call she would always remember.
We got the house. We got the house.
For a free guide to help you on the path to homeownership, call the Fannie Mae Foundation. We're showing America a new way home.
Where is money simple? Enter here. What if you could tap into Citibank right from your PC? Wouldn't it be easy if you could pay bills without writing checks? Or see what you've charged lately without waiting for the bill? Imagine moving money around this quickly and having an expert to answer your questions day or night. Citibank's PC banking puts you in control. It makes money simple. Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Hey, I'm going to McDonald's. Do you want anything?
Yeah, give me a Big Mac and fries.
Hey, did somebody say McDonald's? Coffee and a cheeseburger.
A number 3, and supersize it.
Barry, cheeseburger, apple pie, Coke, and you have call in line 7.
Barry, fill in the mailroom. Look, we need 4 Big Macs. Could you hurry, please? Thanks.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Everywhere. Packages to every address in America. P.O. boxes too. We deliver packages to more places than FedEx or UPS. The U.S. Postal Service can take your business around the world. We deliver packages to everyone, everywhere, every day.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Fannie Mae Foundation, showing America a new way home. By priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service, we deliver. And by MetLife. Get Met, it pays.
Time for the second half in this matinee at Madison Square Garden. Raptors 50, Knicks 46. Mike Breen is back with John Andres.
Well, thank you. The Knicks trailing by 4. Knicks defense not up to snuff, John. The number one statistic, field goal percentage by the Raptors, 60%. That is far too high for Jeff Van Gundy's liking.
Well, they're an average 43% shooting team, so the Knicks have got to change that in the second half. Three-point shooting also very good for the Raptors while making 5 out of 8. The rebounds, the Raptors are competing. They're an on-demand team. They got a couple of people missing. Walt Williams, Popeye Jones, yet they got 19 rebounds. Knicks 12 assists is a pretty solid number for the half. Their turnovers are not a problem. The Knicks have captured 14 points off the forced turnovers that they have on the Raptors. 12 Raptors turnovers. Dudley now, who only played 7 minutes of the first half, will be needed more than ever to make an early impression so that Jeff Van Gundy sticks with him.
You know, Van Gundy and Dudley met this week to talk about his role. And Dudley admitted they have not played well recently, and he says because he hasn't played a lot of minutes, he gets the feeling when he goes out there he feels like he has to do something instead of, as the saying goes, let the game come to him.
Perspective of the coaches, when you're out there, make something happen, then you'll get your minutes.
Knicks trailing by 4 as we begin the third. Miller. Again, you see Miller a little fake, knows to fake, but just doesn't have the quickness to make the move. Stoudemire does, though. Won't go down. Ball tipped by Dudley, and it goes right back out. Stoudemire hoist up the 3, and David Stoudemire gives the Raptors a 7-point lead.
Stoudemire is now 7 of 10 from the field.
And this is the largest lead of the game. Miller with the deflection. Oakley dives to try and keep it alive, but cannot. And Toronto comes the other way. 4-on-2 break. Stoudemire over Larry Johnson. And Jeff Van Gundy quickly calls a 20-second timeout. So just like that, 5 quick points by Toronto. And Knicks are down 9.
Well, the quickness factor is obvious here now for the Raptors. They've got plenty of quickness. Quick release, adjustment on the jump shot to get it up and high quickly by Stoudemire. Stoudemire, a 5'10" player. And here's the shot preceding that opened things up here in the third quarter by Stoudemire.
Now with 18 points for the game.
Happy guy. And this team that's searching for victories this season, out of 27 games, only has 3 in the victory column. They're playing with great enthusiasm.
They have played much better recently. They've lost a lot of close games. I hate to use the expression that they're not as bad as the record indicates, but it's true with this team because of injuries and close games. Larry Johnson, spin move. Dudley trying to get the rebound. Johnson there to get it. Ward with the penetration. And Charlie Ward, nice shot off the dribble. It's 55-48. Knicks down by 7.
You know, just like when Patrick Ewing is here, the Knicks can't expect Larry Johnson to carry them on the inside. They've got to get something going, 15, 18-foot range out there.
Miller left open. Line drive shot misses. Oakley grabs the board, his 6th. Johnson double team. Pass deflected. Slater with good post defense. And Stoudemire fouled. Oakley and Ward both getting a piece of him. Charlie Ward called for it, and that's his first. They'll call it the act of shooting. Buck Williams quickly comes in, and Dudley will sit down. So Dudley only playing less than 2 minutes here to start the third. Has just not been able to get into the flow.
It seems that Jeff Van Gundy has a very short patience spell with Dudley these days. If he doesn't see something positive, strong, fast, Chris is back on the bench. One of the interesting numbers in the first half, Mike, only 7 assists for the Raptors out of their 21 field goals in the first half, which tells us that they have been doing a good job in their one-on-one matchups with the Knicks, beating them off the dribble, overpowering, shooting the ball well at 60%. And the Knicks have got to work real hard now in the second half.
At 59%, sure, you have to credit the Raptors shooting, but the Knicks defense has not been as good as it's been recently. Illegal defense call against Toronto. That'll be their first, so a warning. Especially when you see that Toronto not a good shooting team to begin with. Rich Carter, who of course had some roles with the Knicks, including as a player. Everybody in the organization loved him. One of the real class guys in the league.
11 years as a player/coach. Played with the Lakers as well. Played with Magic Johnson for a spell. That's Allen Houston with the touch.
And you'd like to see that. There was nothing there. Took a dribble, creates for himself. And Houston now with 16 to lead the Knicks. Stoudemire has all 7 of the Raptors' points here to start the third. Christie just spotting up from 3. Oakley tipped that to Buck Williams. Didn't have position, but smart enough to make the tip play. However, can't handle a pass. Knicks trailing by 7. Stoudemire off the mark. That is not a good shot. Ward ahead to Oakley. Houston comes off. Blocked by Camby, but a foul. Boy, that's an impressive projection, even though he got a piece of the body down below. He just followed him over the screen, and Camby picks up his second.
Take a look and see it. When Charles Oakley gets the ball at the foul line, wide open, wide open, wide open. He gives it off to Allen Houston. But Charles has to think more and more, if he can, about those opportunities. That's a 15-foot jumper for him. Take that shot.
He has been hesitant. Has not been shooting the ball all that well. The elbow had something to do with it, although he'll refuse to use that as an excuse. But has shot the ball well today. He's at 4 of 5. Houston's 2 free throws pull the Knicks within 5. 3 minutes gone by third quarter. Houston now with 18 for the game. Camby against Larry Johnson. Huge height advantage, and just dumps it down.
So he did that without going low post and trying to overpower Larry Johnson. But that's a limitation he has because of his weight, lack of weight, and lower body strength.
Oakley, and a ball kicked, so they'll reset to 24. 8:33 remaining third quarter. Knicks down 7. They trailed by 4 at halftime.
Camby working on Larry Johnson now, facing out, clear out for him to work, and he just uses that 6'11" frame to get that jumper off.
Buck Williams is fouled by Stoudemire. Second on Stoudemire. And for the Raptors, their second team foul. Williams trying to get position down low on Slater. Allen Houston, that's a 2. Buck Williams pushed off to get the rebound, and he knows it as he starts to walk up the floor.
Oh, Reggie Slater at 6'7" had the inside position, and Buck using his height advantage.
2 fouls on Williams. Slater's played a pretty good game. 8.6 boards with Jean Tabac, who comes back in. Slater's a guy who signed a 10-day contract with the team last year. He's played with Denver, Portland, Dallas. He's played in the CBA in Spain, bounced all over. Camby tried a crazy move, doesn't go. Knicks quickly come the other way. Oakley looking, finds Ward, cutting to the basket. Charlie Ward can't get it to go down, and Stoudemire gets the rebound. Slater the other way, blocked by Houston. Outlet to Ward. Ward pushing it up against Camby, draws contact, and then goes flying to the floor. Superb block by Allen Houston to start the fast break.
And Charlie Ward certainly created the contact. Allen Houston, good timing, and a controlled block also that initiates the break. Now Charlie, you'll see, go right into the defense and demand the contact. Wise, because he wasn't going to shoot the ball over the 6'11" Canby.
A lot of guys will try and have their shot altered as Charlie Ward hits a free throw because of the presence, instead trying to go right at the man, which is the best way to play it, as Ward did. Knicks down by 6. Those Ward's numbers. Ward has now hit 15 consecutive free throws. And Charlie Ward keeps his string going.
Near perfect. Around 95% now for the season.
59-54. Knicks down by 5. 7.5 remaining, third quarter. Allen Houston on Christie. Houston played that very well. Slater lost the rebound out of bounds. It's Knicks ball.
Toronto now breaking down a little bit, going too much one-on-one, and the Knicks defensive pressure has intensified.
Switch it.
Ward tied up. Johnson has to come out to help.
Clear out for Larry Johnson now.
Against Slater. Johnson, aggressive move, and used the left hand.
Oh, that is a gorgeous move.
And the Knicks are within 3.
Boy, Larry Johnson better get used to more playing time. Been averaging 30 minutes for the season. He played 20 in the first half.
And a whistle away from the ball. This will go against the Knicks. And we'll have a timeout. 6:42 remaining in the third. Knicks trailing by 3. Larry Johnson with 11 points to get the Knicks back in it.
Call 1-800-THE-DIME.
Introducing Buick Celebration 98, an exciting celebration of Buick's world-class power, comfort, and style. Now through January 5th, get 0.98% APR GMAC financing, which can give you up to $2,100 average finance savings and pay nothing for 98 days on every 98 Buick. Save big during Buick Celebration 98, but hurry, this celebration ends January 5th.
Celebration savings on now at your Tri-State Buick dealers.
The AT&T One Rate plan has made long-distance prices simple. Whoa. Calls from home, a one low rate to anybody in America anytime.
What about those 10-3-2-1 ads that say I could save big over AT&T?
Most calls would cost less with AT&T One Rate.
Cost less?
That's right.
I feel so used.
Hey, don't beat yourself up.
What about the big savings with 10-3-2-1?
Forget it if your calls aren't over 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
He's taking it really bad.
No games. The AT&T One Rate plan.
We're back at the Garden in the front row with a longtime Knick fan, Jerry Stiller. And Jerry, I want to ask you about the show Seinfeld that you've been a part of, and it's a national story. Jerry said that's it. Is that how you found out about it in the newspaper?
I read about it in the newspapers, but in the weeks behind, just before I came here to see the Knicks play today, I was out in L.A. doing a couple of shows, and at that time, Jerry had not made up his mind, and everybody was kind of walking around wondering, would it go again? But it's kind of a sadness, you know, with something that has had such a remarkable reverb in terms of the country and everything else, in terms of myself, let's say, that it's still around. It's a past tense, so to speak.
One quick thought on why you think that show has become as popular as it's been. You know comedy and drama, both sides of it.
Well, there's a sharing there, and it's basically due to Jerry Seinfeld himself. I mean, he's making a wonderful place for himself in his business by the fact that the other people are carrying the ball. He allows the other people to carry the ball. And, you know, it's a little bit like the Patrick Ewing story, you know. Jerry doesn't want to go out on a bad note. I mean, here you have a guy like Patrick who does some wonderful things. One night he doesn't quite make it and everybody bombs him. And Jerry understands the philosophy of the world and comedy. He wants to be out there when things were great and people remember him in the finest way.
Well, they'll be watching the reruns and your work forever. Thanks a lot, Jerry. It's good to see you here.
And continue. I hope these Knicks can rejuvenate the same way the life should rejuvenate.
You got an outside shot?
I think so, yeah. New things happen. It happened for me.
Thanks a lot. Mike, back to you.
Thank you, Al. You know, you get the feeling that right now he's more concerned with the Ewing injury than the Seinfeld show.
He's a legitimate fan.
Wallace hitting the shot and getting the foul. Larry Johnson's first. And just like that, the Raptors back up by 7, make it 8. And Wallace now for the game with 9 points. Knicks trailing 64-56. A little over 5.5 remaining. Third quarter. Johnson sees the double team. Houston tied up to Buck Williams. Oakley One on the shot clock. Johnson, no, it will not count. 24-second violation.
24-second violation.
Knicks have turned it over again a lot here in the third. That's their 5th turnover of the third quarter for the game, number 13.
Somehow they're going to have to get through to Charles Oakley and say, Charles, you're being selfish by being unselfish. You're denying us a chance at good shots.
There's Stoudemire, who's really come alive here in the third. 9 of his 22. Christie hammered as he knifes his way between Buck Williams and Allen Houston. Williams will pick up the foul. That's his third. 5:14 remaining, third quarter. Knicks trailing 64-56, and Christie goes to the line. Christie with 13 points on the afternoon.
For the Knicks, number 3, John Starks is coming back.
Starks will return. Christie, as Oakley sits down. Christie just signed a big deal through the year 2004. Last year he got some votes for All-NBA defense. Very versatile player, can score, obviously can defend, one of the better rebounding guards in the NBA.
Well, he's finally in a happy position because he's getting 36 minutes a game, and that's what he's longed for in his 5-year pro career.
This 9-point Toronto lead equals their largest lead of the game, with 5 minutes remaining in the third. And a whistle. Foul is going to go against, legal defense against Christie. So the second, the infraction there, technical foul. Again, if you're just joining us, you saw Butch Carter there. And as Houston hits the free throw, Butch Carter, the head coach, normally the assistant, but Darrell Walker has some real severe back problems and did not make the trip. Former Knick player, and worked for the team after his playing days as well.
Spent 4 wonderful years with Bobby Knight at Indiana, too. College.
Starks with Camby right on top of him, a little head fake. And Starks able to get it through. Knicks down by 6. The entry pass to Wallace. Camby with an open jumper. Starks the rebound.
Knicks need John Starks to be at his best from here on in this game.
Johnson gets it. Mismatch with Christie guarding him. Johnson making his move. Nice play by Christie. Knocks it off the foot of Johnson. And Toronto gets it back. That's why he received some of those votes.
Quickness. Boy, he reached in. Usually, 8 out of 10 times that's a foul. But his quickness overcame that.
6-point Knick deficit. Just over 4 remaining in the third.
But Carter's gone big now with Tabaka 7-footer and Canby at 6'11".
Canby's foul. Shot will not go. Starks trying to reach in, commits the personal. That's his second. And Marcus Camby will go to the line.
Canby not shooting the ball that well coming in this season. First half, however, made 2 out of 3. Then he got quiet.
And there you see the numbers.
Yes, his shooting is down. Butch Carter was, minutes are up though. Carter was saying how he's got to improve the jump shot. And the problem for him is a problem that Kenny Walker, Knick fans will remember Kenny Walker had. He came in after his successful years at Kentucky. Great jumper, as is Canby, but all of a sudden, the lack of lower body weight and strength from the waist on down says to the opponents, we can move him out of position down low. He can't hold a low post position, and that really hurts the inside game.
And he's injury prone. He missed 19 games last year as Houston draws the foul. He's already missed 8 games this year with an assortment of injuries in his first 2 seasons. 67-59. Knicks down by 8. Tabak picks up his 4th foul. Allen Houston blocked by Wallace. And it goes out of bounds. Still Knick ball. Houston kind of took off a little early. Has some friendly words with Wallace after that.
Well, I would think Wallace picked up that slam dunk one-handed attempt by Allen Houston and made it clear that he wasn't going to let it happen.
Starks quick 3, rushed it. Rebound, Buck Williams had it, lost it. And Tabak picks it up. Buck Williams upset with Dick Pavetta. He felt there's been a lot of contact down low that was not called. Wallace being guarded by Houston. Canby flips it up. Will not get the roll. Larry Johnson goes after the rebound. Starks looking to break on Stoudemire. Houston left wide open for three. And cannot get it down. Tabak the rebound. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Knicks still trailing by 8.
Jeff Van Gundy imploring his team to pick it up, come out, play tougher on defense.
Tabak. And the Raptors now their largest lead of the game as the Knicks have fallen behind by 10.
Well, that's something you don't count on if you're the Knicks, but Tabak to hit a side jumper.
Starks, and he's fouled. And there'll be a timeout on the floor. Knicks struggling here in the third quarter. 2:43 remaining. They trail 69-59.
Gretzky, Leach the trailer. Leach goes in, he shoots, he scores!
You're watching MSG Network. We're all over it.
For all of you basketball fans who are into statistics, so far the NBA and the Fannie Mae Foundation have hit 435,000 boards, thrown up 300,000 bricks, made 90,000 assists, and with the help of a 10-foot stepladder reached a goal slightly higher than the basket. The NBA and the Fannie Mae Foundation, America's home team.
It turns day into night, air into fire. And in the town of Dante's Peak, a volcano is turning nature into a nightmare. Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton, Dante's Peak.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
You've only got a minute. It takes two of you to win it. Kids get on the mission. NBA two-ball competition. Boys and girls can shoot around until the clock runs down. We're playing two-ball. Tell me, can you hear it? Two-ball. That's the sound of two-team spirit. Two-ball. Tell me, can you hear it?
NBA two-ball coming in January.
2:43 remaining third quarter, Madison Square Garden. Knicks now trailing by 10. A Toyota matchup. Eamon Stoudemire, 9 of those 22, John, have come here in the third quarter where he's come alive a bit more.
Well, Stoudemire showing what he's capable of in a game that this Toronto team would love to steal from the Knicks on their home court. Charlie Ward and Chris Childs generally have been splitting time these days. Chris Childs in the game now.
They both been playing about equal minutes. Here's the Allen Houston move that John Wallace rejected.
John Starks for the Knicks. 2 shots.
Starks to the line for 2. Tabak picking up his 5th foul on that last play. Starks' first free throws of the afternoon.
John with a quiet first half. 9 minutes of play. 2 out of 7 from the field.
Again, fundamentally, for kids, watch John Starks take free throws. Takes his time. You saw him take the deep breaths.
Knees bent, follow through right there.
And hits a pair. Knicks down by 8, 69-61. Just a little over 2.5 remaining third quarter. Along with John Andres, Mike Breen on hand, a sold-out Madison Square Garden. Knicks with a 10-game home winning streak in some jeopardy. Garner passed down low for Slater. Nice idea, but Slater just couldn't get a hold of it. And that's the first turnover here in the third quarter for the Raptors. That's after they turned it over 12 times in the first half. See Mills back in the game.
Starks wants that ball in the corner.
Childs, all the time in the world. The 3 won't go down. Slater the rebound. Knicks just 2 of 10 from 3-point range. Raptors, meanwhile, 6 of 10.
Carter's slowing up the game now. He talked about doing this before the game, and I said, you saw what happened with Don Nelson the other night. He said, yes, but the Mavericks were not getting anything inside the foul line. Everything they were doing was outside. You can see Stoudemire taking a long shot again.
Starks ahead of the pack against Stoudemire. Adjusted, puts it in. Stoudemire trying to fake him out.
Starks has fire in his eyes.
Starks now in double figures with 10. Knicks pull within 6 with a minute and a half remaining in the third. Wallace throws it away. Good defense from Buck Williams. Mills underneath, puts it in, and a foul! Brilliant play from Chris Mills and a chance for a three-point play as the Knicks are pull within 4.
Well, Chris Mills is having a lot of trouble shooting the ball lately, with a beautiful finish on this drive and maybe a three-point play. Good pass from Childs.
Rattles it in. Mills with his first points of the afternoon. Knicks down by 3. Raptors just a couple of minutes ago had a 10-point lead. Just over a minute left in the third. Stoudemire. Garner, line drive. Slater, the weak side rebound. Underneath Wallace. Wallace is fouled, and he'll get 2. With 56.9 seconds remaining in the third. Buck Williams picking up his 4th foul.
Chris Mills lost track of Wallace for a split second. Wallace got low in the paint, got the basketball. Butch Carter made an interesting point to me, Mike, before the game about John Wallace. He said, we want him to get more foul shot opportunities based on the amount of field goal attempts he gets. He's not getting to the line enough, and he has to be a big scorer for us in that area. He's got to hurt the other team and draw fouls. He said instead of using his height to go up and over the defense, we want him to go through the defender. In other words, go into him, draw the foul, because he's tall enough to do that. Get to the line more. He's putting a lot of pressure on Wallace to play that way.
Starks feeds Buck Williams. Wallace, as you saw the numbers, over 15 per game, second on the team. But he gives up an awful lot on the other end. His defense at times is just puzzling. Johnson feed to Buck Williams. And Buck Williams putting it in. Wallace wanted a push off. Buck Williams wanted a foul. Either way, the Knicks are down 3.
He said, further said, Wallace is used to having the game come to him. Everything's been built around his game that way in his career. He said, in our fast-paced tempo, sometimes he just can't stay with the defensive intensity we want to present.
Half minute remaining, third quarter. Knicks down 3. Shot clock at 8. Garner underneath. Slater tipped by Starks right to Wallace. And Wallace puts it in and a foul. It broke down when Garner was able to go on the baseline and had to get help. Mills picks up his first foul.
Garner with using his speed to draw that foul. Try to draw the foul, and then Wallace comes in and gets it done.
And hits another free throw. Wallace now 14 points. Knicks down by 6. Starks tied up. Shot clock is turned off. Larry Johnson underneath and banks it in.
That's what happened in Toronto. The Knicks went over the pressure, and Larry Johnson was there. It was season high 27.
Miller with a three-pointer at the buzzer and off the mark, and that will end a wild third quarter. Knicks fell behind by 10, but finish up with an 11-4 run. Fourth quarter coming up. Knicks down 4.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. From our family to yours, we wish you a very safe and happy holiday season.
I want boom, dot, boom, doom. Why do you want to look at my Discover card statement? It's mine.
I live in New York City. Of course, I love the theater. Bring in the noise. You know, it's my favorite show. I go there as often as I can, trying to steal another step. And my kids want me to be more risky. Come to Garçon stuff is, you know, it's risky. I want a cashback bonus.
How many credit cards make a statement like that? It pays to discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
During Oldsmobile's year-end bonus buys, for just $299 a month, lease the all-new Intrigue, a sophisticated twist on a sports sedan. See your local Oldsmobile dealer today.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Toyota, every day, and by the Discover card.
Fourth quarter set to begin. Knicks with a 10-game home winning streak on the line, but they trail by 4. So let's look at our MCS Cannon game summary as we head into the final quarter.
Raptors 0-8 against the Knicks all time, although they made it close a couple of years ago with a 2-point game here at the Garden. The Knicks have brought them down to 50% from the field with a much better defensive effort in the third quarter. 3-point shooting favoring Toronto. Rebounds even now. Says a lot for the Raptors, and Stoudemire still tough, and Allen Houston the main man offensively for the Knicks. But you get a sense that the Knicks are starting to really lift up their defensive intensity.
And a big reason for that was, as you mentioned, John Starks. You could see he had that look about him when he came off the bench in the second half and sparked the team as the Knicks were trailing by 10 in that third quarter. Allen Houston will start the fourth on the bench despite being the leading scorer for the Knicks with 19. Again, tough matchup problems today for Jeff Van Gundy. We've seen Houston having to guard Marcus Camby a couple of times. Stoudemire will get a breather to start the fourth. Stoudemire has played 34 of a possible 36 minutes thus far.
Well, it's the backcourt of Christie, Stoudemire, and then the front court of Wallace. Those are the focal points that have been hurting the Knicks.
Right now it's Garner with the ball. Christie, Wallace, Miller, and Slater on the floor for the Raptors. Alley-oop Christie, broken up nicely by Starks. Starks leads the break the other way. Childs will set up the offense. Starks, Childs, Mills, Buck Williams, and Larry Johnson out there for the Knicks. A little dangerous pass. Shot clock is at 8. Feed underneath. Childs to Buck Williams. Sensational feed from Chris Childs, and the Knicks are within 2.
It was like a Bill Bradley pass out of 20-some-odd years ago. The ball was in and out of Childs' hands so much you didn't even see it.
Childs with 5 assists in 18 minutes. This is the closest the Knicks have been in the second half as Starks pokes it away. Eight seconds remaining on the shot clock. And here again, you'll see the beautiful feed from Chris Childs to Buck Williams. 5 on the shot clock. Ball poked away by Mills. Garner underneath him. Garner with a nice move as the shot clock expires.
He did two things at once. He faked the pass off, received the defense, and shot the ball successfully.
Knicks down by 4. Just over a minute gone by, fourth quarter. Mills with 7 on the shot clock. Miller, good defense. Mills gets away from him. That's a tough shot from Chris Mills. Just his second field goal.
Oliver Miller made him take the jump shot by bumping him to jump shooting position.
Yes. It's down by 2 again. Wallace sees the double team. Buck Williams has been all over the floor. Wallace trying to force it. Slater against Larry Johnson. Reggie Slater in double figures now. He's got 10. It's down 4, and Christie with a foul on Starks. Third foul on Christie. Just about 2 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. First team foul on the Raptors. Childs spots Buck Williams. And Chris Childs really finding the open man. Once again, Buck Williams the beneficiary. Knicks are within 2 again. And a travel call on Garner. Childs coming up big here early in the 4th.
Solid all-around game for Chris Childs.
A 20-second timeout called by Butch Carter and the Raptors. And the Knicks have pulled once again within 2. Knicks shooting has been strong the end of the 3rd and here to start the 4th. Let's take a look at our New York Marriott Marquee Skycam right now as the Knicks battling back after being down by 10 points in the 3rd quarter. And here's the Marriott Marquee Skycam.
Oh, the Knicks getting the ball inside. Chris Childs finding a wide open Buck Williams. He didn't fool around with that ball. He put it right in the hole.
New York Marriott Marquee, Broadway's biggest hit. And now Toronto's going to call a full timeout. We'll take a break. Just over 2 minutes gone by in the 4th. Knicks are within 2.
During this season of giving and get-togethers, it's time for the best savings of the year. It's on now. The 19th annual Toyotathon. Toyota dealers are out to sell 32,000 new Camrys with special year-end deals. Right now, lease Camry for a low $239 a month with air, automatic, cruise control, power package, and pay no security deposit. Or get special financing now if you buy America's #1 selling automobile. Don't miss these special year-end deals. Get your Toyotathon deal today.
This holiday season, British Airways will bring 5 million people together.
This year, there's more to celebrate than just the new year. Because during the Jeep year-end celebration, we're also celebrating Peterson's 4x4 of the year, the Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited, which means great deals, like Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with your choice of 4.8% financing or a great lease of just $349 a month. The Jeep year-end celebration, brought to you by the most award-winning brand of 4x4s on earth. Check out this $349 lease at your dealer.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Afternoon affair here at Madison Square Garden. Knicks trailing the Raptors by 2 with 2 minutes gone by in the 4th. More basketball tonight here on the Garden floor. The ECAC Holiday Festival start with a consolation game. St. John's and Drexel. St. John's upset last night Niagara with the big victory, and they will face Princeton in the championship game. We'll have it for you here on the MSG Network.
Niagara led by Alvin Young and Jeremiah Johnson in the backcourt last night. Princeton with a terrific game out of Brian Earl.
I'm into this stuff, Mike. You're a college hoop fanatic. Former Fordham star, John Andres. Buck Williams swatted away by Camby, but a foul. And Camby just shaking his head. That's the 4th on Camby. And a delay of game warning called as well.
Nice look by Starks, though. Deceptive pass inside.
Smart for him to express his displeasure walking away. So Williams at the free throw line. Buck Williams has done a good job in the line. We've mentioned this a number of times. For his career, he's not a great free throw shooter, 66%, but he's over 80% in the last 8 games. And for the season, Buck Williams at 76%. Dudley continues to sit. Only 9 minutes today for Dudley. Williams goes 1 of 2. Knicks within 1. This is the closest they've been in the second half, as the Raptors have led the entire second half. Stoudemire. Childs has done a good job on him.
Yes, Knicks did a good job. Buck Williams helping out too, making him give the ball up.
Slater with 5 on the shot clock. Makes his move. Flips underneath to Miller. Nice feed from Reggie Slater. 80-77. Starks looking for an opening, finds it. That's the first miss of the fourth quarter for the Knicks. They were 3 for 3. In fact, hit their last 7 shots going back to the third. Knicks trailing by 3. Just over 3 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Ball deflected by Starks. Stoudemire has it, 5 on the shot clock. Miller. Buck Williams may have gotten a piece of it. Starks the rebound.
Buck Williams wide open.
The ball knocked away. Starks able to come away with it. Feet underneath. Gorgeous pass, and Buck Williams puts it in. Knicks down by 1 again.
So that's rare when a guy's open immediately and then the team misses it and he still remains open. And Starks recognized it.
Some pretty passing from the Knick guards here in the fourth. Childs and Starks getting it done. Still plenty of time. Over 8 minutes left. Christie, a lot of contact there. And he's called for travel. Well, Starks was all over. As Christie says to David Jones, call a foul.
Boy, the body language in this game right now is such that the Knicks are saying, our game, our court, we're here to win. And it seems the Raptors are going one-on-one more and more.
It has been their court this season. Knicks have won 10 in a row on the Garden floor. Buck Williams picks it out. Chris Childs, that's a 3. And Oakley gets the long rebound. Starks now sets. 3-pointer. It's good. John Starks from downtown. And the Knicks go up by 2, their first lead of the second half.
And a big smile from Buck Williams as he turned around to run up court.
Timeout Toronto. Standing ovation at the sold-out Garden. 7.5 remaining. Knicks with a 2-point lead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Page. It's Super Bowl time again, and we talk to the great Joe Namath about that and other issues in the NFL right here on the next Page One.
There's something down there.
That's right.
No, I really mean it.
I really mean it, too.
Something big is coming.
From now on, everybody stays on board.
It smells your fear.
Do you hear that?
It feels your panic.
Is snakes out there this big?
And it will take your breath away.
Back on the floor! Come on!
Anaconda.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV.
Hey, basketball fans! Now you can try NBA Inside Stuff magazine free and get this incredible new NBA video, Furious Finishes. Yeah, boy! With your Furious Finishes video, you'll get the most heart-pounding, rib-rocking action in NBA history with Reggie, Shaq, Zoe, the Rain Man, and so much more.
Stockton on a turn for the win!
And with NBA Inside Stuff magazine, you'll go inside the locker room and the huddle.
I got every rebound. Let's get the knees to basket.
You'll get the latest on your favorite players, plus exciting photos and an exclusive oversized poster in every issue. Call now for your free trial issue. If you like it, you'll get 5 more issues, a whole year of NBA action for over 30% off the cover price. And you'll get the video absolutely free with your paid subscription. NBA Inside Stuff magazine. Call now for your free trial.
Knicks trying to come back from a double-digit deficit. They were down by 10 in the third, but now lead by 2. You see the offensive rebound for Charles Oakley, setting up a 3-pointer for John Starks to give the Knicks their first lead of the second half.
John Starks loving the pressure and making the most of it with a good look at the basket and a good look at Buck Williams, who was under the hoop alone.
Buck Williams very pleased as you see the smile. He's had a big quarter. 7 of the Knicks 12 here in the fourth.
Well, the Knicks had a moment to smile. Now they got to get back to serious work and continue their fine play.
Stoudemire forces it. That's good. And a foul. Tough shot from David Stoudemire as Childs picks up the personal. And the game tied at 82.
You know, in many ways, that's like a Jordan move. Childs is right with him. With him on the spin, right with him, and then he goes away. Bye, I'm going away now.
Childs' 3rd foul. Stoudemire. Childs has done a good job on him since that rough stretch for the Knicks in the third quarter when Stoudemire came out on fire to start the third. 83-82. Knicks down by a point.
Recognize the pressure there.
Starks off the mark. Mills tips it out to Childs to keep it alive, and they get a new 24. Buck Williams and Slater really going at it down low.
Buck forced a mismatch now favoring him.
But Starks can't get it to him. Oakley to Childs. Childs across the lane. Wallace the rebound.
No shot blocking in there on that play for Toronto. Canby's the guy, but he looks a little tired right now.
Knicks trailing by a point. There's Canby over Oakley. And Oakley not only does the defense, gets the rebound and outlets to Starks. Mills passed up the three. Knicks trailing by 1. Starks down the lane, feeds Chris Mills, stripped by Canby, and Wallace picks up the loose ball. Good hands from the big man from UMass. We're approaching the midway point of quarter number 4. 83-82. Knicks down by 1. Wallace. And John Wallace now with 16, and Jeff Van Gundy now wants to talk it over. 5:54 remaining, fourth quarter. Knicks down by 3.
Two hours? All right, we'll be waiting. What are you gonna miss in school today?
Nothing. What are you gonna miss?
You wanna see?
The weather outside is frightful.
Daddy, you got email.
I did, didn't I? I gotta get some foots out. You wanna help me? Hey, you faxed it.
Place to go. Let it snow.
We're still working. Come back later.
New Pocket Net service, only from AT&T.
I whack the weeds. So you want to know what's on my Discover Card statement? I'm a camp cook and a bad one, but I've got a good stove. And he loves to chase that. The cashback bonus award.
It all folds up into a carry.
She loves to get flowers, and I love to give them.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
Well, the toughest thing about buying a wetsuit is trying them on.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Knicks in a real battle. Just under 6 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter. They trail the Raptors by 3. The Raptors have never beaten the Knicks. Knicks 8-0 lifetime against Toronto. There's John Wallace now with 16 points after this shot over Charles Oakley.
Well, Wallace flashed into the pivot, got the ball at the right time. It's such a key part of the success of a guard and a forward. Get him the ball at the right moment. Wallace at 6'10" has a beautiful inside game.
Another ex-Knick will be facing his former team on Tuesday when the Knicks are in Orlando for the first time this season. FCS Cannon game night begins at 7:30. Tip off shortly after 8. Knicks and the Magic on Tuesday night right here on the MSG Network.
You notice that Derek Harper, when Patrick Ewing got hurt, gave Patrick a call. Hadn't talked to him in a long time. And
not a surprise.
Wished him well. Really class act by a very caring former teammate.
John Starks, of course, visiting with Patrick Ewing in the hospital, talking about how Ewing says he'll be back for the playoffs. I don't think you got to count on that. I mean, more power to the power of positive thinking, and Ewing's going to try, but the doctors know that this is going to be a long road back for Patrick Ewing. Dr. Norman Scott, and the tan jacket, will be a big part of that process of bringing back Patrick Ewing. Houston back in the game. Slater all over him. Charlie Ward is back in. Childs and Mills sit down. Houston to the hole. Starks fakes a 3, 5 on the shot clock. Now forces the shot, puts it in. Stoudemire right in his face. 85-84. Starks now with 15. Canby. Good defense from Larry Johnson. Ward saves it to Houston. Larry Johnson against Christie. Quickly makes his move. Christie knocks it away again. Ward saves it. Starks pass to Oakley. Underneath Johnson. And the Knicks are back up by 1. Sensational ball movement. Just under 5 minutes remaining. This crowd really into it this afternoon.
Well, Canby to me looks like a boxer in the 16th round.
Stoudemire is fouled before the shot. That'll only be the second team foul. Oakley picks up his third. Knicks leading by 1, 86-85, with just over 4.5 remaining. And you see the Knicks with the ball movement.
That was Houston, Mike on Wallace.
There's Camby, fall away. Boy, I think you're right on the money with Camby. Starks trying to save it, but Slater comes away. Camby looks exhausted, John.
Yeah, he does. Reminds me of myself when I play basketball now.
When he's not in the play, he's just standing there. Christie looking to post up Charlie Ward. He draws the foul. And Doug Christie seeing the mismatch, so does a good job. Coming up this week, tonight, it's the Panthers and Islanders, 7 o'clock on Sports Channel. Also tonight, Bucks and Nets, 7:30 game on Sports Channel 2. Tomorrow, Rangers host the Bruins, 7 o'clock on the MSG Network. Then on Monday, Devils and Sabres up in Buffalo. Sports Channel 3 at 7 p.m. Tuesday, Knicks in Orlando against the Magic, 8 o'clock game on MSG. All coming up this week. Check your local listings as Christie hits the first. Houston the rebound. Game tied at 86 with 4:13 remaining. Charlie Ward looking for Larry Johnson because Christie's on him. Shot clock at 6. Starks leans in, draws the foul, and nearly puts it in. Wallace called for the foul, went for the fake. And a 2-shot foul coming up for John Starks.
One of the interesting stories with the Raptors is the 9th pick of the draft last spring in the NBA, Tracy McGrady, the 18-year-old who's the youngest player in the NBA this year. And I was asking Butch Carter if we were going to see him today. McGrady, by the way, is featured in the background there. You see him next to the coach, next to Miller. Featured in a big story in Sports Illustrated this week about the plight of an 18-year-old. Of course, he's well paid. He's got a $12 million contract from a sneaker company and a big contract. But the subject of the article deals with, did I make the right decision? Should I have stayed in school and gone to college for a year or two? And it's kind of a poignant thing. But I asked Butch if we'd see him today. He said, no, not today. This is a man's game. He said, with the likes of John Starks out there, we're going to put McGrady in.
He has stayed on the bench all afternoon. Starks hitting 2 free throws. Picks up 88-86. Stoudemire. Christie, that's a 3. Way off the mark. Johnson the rebound. Charlie Ward. Starks a 3. Fight for the rebound. Johnson tried to save it, but it's out of bounds. And Toronto will take over. 3:33 remaining. Jeff Van Gundy signaling for Buck Williams.
Boy, talk about Camby being tired. I got to believe Larry Johnson's feeling it, although he's not showing it. As we mentioned earlier, 30 minutes a game average this year, but he's going to be expected to do a lot more. He's going to knock on 40 minutes today.
How about Buck Williams? 5 of 6 last game. He's 6 of 7 today. 11 of his last 13. There's a 3-point shooting. Stoudemire. Damon Stoudemire from 3-point range. And the Raptors take a 1-point lead. Timeout, New York. Stoudemire with 28 points. 3:15 left, fourth quarter. 89-88. Next trail.
It only comes around once a year, and it's always worth waiting for. The 19th annual Toyotathon. The biggest sale of the year is here with great deals on a full line of Toyotas. Like a $199 a month lease on the all-new 98 Corolla LE with air, power package, deluxe cassette, even side airbags. Values like this make Toyotathon your best time to save on a new Toyota. Don't forget Sienna. It's all new with V6, front-wheel drive, and all the room you want in a minivan. Don't miss it. Get your Toyotathon deal today.
A cavatelli and a zesty tomato sauce.
This is my son.
Zesty tomato sauce.
The actor.
We have a
He's going to be
cavatelli
big.
with a zesty tomato sauce.
Very big.
Waiter.
Of course, it's going to take 4 years of acting school.
Excuse me.
At $100,000.
Hey!
That's $100,000. 5 zeros.
Good evening, madam. Ma'am. Ms. We have a cavatelli in a zesty tomato sauce.
He better be big.
Call for our new low rates.
3:15 remaining, fourth quarter. Knicks trailing now by 1.
And it's time for our Coke Classic play. We'll take you back to last November 14th. Knicks are up by 3. Closing minutes of the game here at the Garden. Canby for a three-point shot. Off the rim. And the Knicks go on and escape with victory over the second year Toronto Raptors.
Knicks, of course, blew out the Raptors in the first meeting of the season between the two. Toronto still looking for their first win against the Knicks. They've also never beaten the Hawks and the Pacers. They've beaten every other team. And, of course, Jeff Van Gundy hoping that his team can continue their home winning streak. Of course, we'll hear from Jeff Van Gundy on our Knicks postgame report. And a special postgame report today, not only the Knicks postgame report, but we'll have the Giants postgame report. Al Trattler will talk about the Knicks here at the Garden. Mike Despino's out at the Meadowlands as Giant football playing the Minnesota Vikings. And we'll have the complete wrap-up from the Meadowlands as well. So a busy day here on the MSG Network as John Starks comes back on the floor. There's Marcus Camby, who has looked very tired. Alan Houston, the Knicks leading scorer with 19, has not played much here in the fourth, but is back out there now.
Well, we just saw once again, as we've seen many times today, how tough Stoudemire is. Here comes the pressure.
Buck Williams stays in the game. Williams came in because Oakley had a cut and had to come out. But Buck Williams has played very strong basketball again. Larry Johnson over Slater. It's good. Larry Johnson puts the Knicks back up by 1.
That's a big shot. He hadn't taken a jumper in a while.
17 points on 7 of 9 shooting for Johnson. 2:45 remaining in the fourth. Stoudemire comes off a couple of screens. Stoudemire. Oh, David Stoudemire again. 30 for Stoudemire.
You know, you see him take these shots and you think after a while maybe it's time to knock him down, shake him up a little bit.
Buck Williams is fouled as he goes to the basket. That's only going to be the 14th foul against Toronto. Camby picks up his 5th foul. Oakley comes back in the game, and Buck Williams sits down. 13 points and 6 rebounds for Buck Williams. And that's that reach-in tired foul from Camby. Knicks trailing by 1, just under 2.5 to play in the fourth. Starks left open. That's a 2. Houston tips it, but right to Slater.
Knicks desperately need stops now. Charlie Ward's got to get help with Stoudemire. Knicks doing a lot of talking out there now, telling the outside defenders that they're behind.
Camby with 8 on the shot clock. Stoudemire sees it, makes his move against Ward. Stoudemire, feet underneath, deflected out of bounds by Oakley, who points to Slater's last touching it. It's Raptors ball. 2 seconds remain on the shot clock. 1:56 on the game, and the Knicks down 1. And Toronto's going to call a timeout. Butch Carter, smart timeout. This is an important possession, and you certainly have plenty of time with 2 remaining on the 24. So we'll take a break. 1:56 remaining in the fourth. 2 on the shot clock. Raptors with the ball in a 1-point lead.
This year, the Old Farmer's Almanac predicts 50 inches of rain. Is your rent-a-car company ready for that?
Not exactly!
and 40 inches of sleet and snow. Are they ready for that?
Not exactly!
Starting January, Hertz introduces a more comfortable way to return your car. The new Hertz Return Center, where you're protected from the weather all the way to the terminal. Does your company do that?
Not exactly!
Here comes Frankie on a breakaway. He shoots. He scores. Here's Frankie all alone on the fast break, and he jams it home. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. It's Frankie. The Brat, the ultimate. 1:56 remaining fourth quarter. Knicks down by 1. Toronto has the ball on their own baseline, but just 2 remaining on the 24 as the Knicks have climbed back from a 10-point third quarter deficit.
Plays like this made it happen, too. They lose the ball. What an aggressive play to recapture the basketball. Charles Oakley finds Larry Johnson, made it 86-85.
But the Knicks comeback being stalled a bit because of this man, Damon Stoudemire. Here's 2 of his 30 points, some of them very tough job. Christie will inbound on Toronto baseline. Again, 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Raptors with only 1 timeout left. Knicks have 2. Both teams have used their 20s here in the second half. Camby quickly has to fire it up in a hurry, and Larry Johnson the rebound. Ward, Starks, Buck Williams, Oakley, and Johnson on the floor. Starks makes his move. Knicks swinging. Starks to Larry Johnson. Camby's on him. Shot clock at 8. Johnson with the jumper way short. Knocked out of bounds, and it's Toronto ball.
Larry Johnson was distracted. It seemed in the middle of the move he changed his mind and wanted to pass the ball.
Minute and a half remaining in the fourth. 91-90. Knicks down by 1.
Job for Ward now is to try and keep the ball out of Stoudemire's hand.
Stoudemire gets it. Shot clock at 7. Stoudemire with the spin underneath, right-handed. Won't go down. Ball kept taken by Starks. Here comes Starks to the open floor, knocked away from behind by Camby. And the Knicks will get it on their baseline with 1:08 remaining. And a timeout called by Jeff Van Gundy.
What a great move by Stoudemire.
And this one just would not go down. Knicks have it. They trail by 1. 1:08 left here in the fourth.
Innovation played a very important part in Anheuser-Busch's success, in Anheuser-Busch's history. Back in 1876, when Budweiser was first produced, Adolphus Busch knew that temperature was the enemy of beer. He was innovative enough to produce a fleet of refrigerated railroad cars, refrigerated with ice stations along the rail sidings to keep the beer cool as he shipped it across the United States. And that was one of the keys to the success of Budweiser, controlling the temperature of the product. Innovation, trying new things, being on the frontier of new ideas, has been and will always be a key in the success of Anheuser-Busch.
Knicks have the ball with 1:08 remaining fourth quarter. They'll have it on their own baseline, trailing the Raptors 91-90.
Well, the Knicks moving the ball around to Larry Johnson moments ago, playing the role of Patrick Ewing in the low post. Goes to that fadeaway, but didn't have enough on it by a long shot. Watch this move by Stoudemire. Spin move inside in the right hand. Oh, so frustrating for him. The Knicks got the ball. Here's another example of how tough it is to guard this guy. And on the spin, he penetrates on that spin. He doesn't just spin, but he gets in further when he comes around. Misses the short shot, though. That ball's knocked out of bounds and transitioned by Toronto.
So Buck Williams tipped the Stoudemire miss, get it out to Starks, who was fouled, or not fouled, but knocked out of his hands by Camby. Allen Houston back in the game. He's out there with Starks, Ward, Oakley, and Johnson. 1 timeout left for the Knicks. They have to get it in and do to Starks. And Starks has it taken away. Knocked off the leg, and Camby forces that turnover. A minute remaining. Knicks down by 1. Passed underneath. Slater, and he missed it, but foul. Charles Oakley with a smart foul. And Slater will shoot some free throws.
See, Charles came out to half court to work on Stoudemire, leaving his man wide open.
Slater is not a good free throw shooter. 59% from the line this season.
Oakley out high, then he had to recover back and did a good job in getting back. But his man was the target once he left him wide open.
Slater 0 for 1 today. That 59% not only his season number, but it's also his career number. And he misses the first. Oakley getting word from Jeff Van Gundy, also hearing some words from Wallace. Knicks down by a point with 50 seconds remaining. Slater rattles that one in, and the Knicks are down 2. Their 10-game home winning streak on the line. 39 seconds left. Charlie Ward starts with the penetration out to Oakley. Oakley's jumper off the mark. Wallace the rebound, and a foul called against the Knicks' Charlie Ward. And the Raptors will shoot free throws with 29.8 seconds remaining. Ex-Knick John Wallace will go to the line. Starks. That's the third foul on Starks. They call it on Starks. It looked like Ward was the one at first.
Charles Oakley wide open for that jumper. He has not shot in a while, it seems. Wallace in good position to get that rebound.
Wallace 4 for 4 from the line, make it 5 for 5 here this afternoon. He's only a 67% free throw shooter, actually 68%.
Well, a week ago the Raptors beat Milwaukee by a point. That was their last win, and only third of the season.
And John Wallace with 2 clutch free throws, and the former Knicks certainly enjoying his game here. 18 points for Wallace, 29.8 remaining. Knicks down by 4.
2 hours? All right, we'll be waiting. What are you gonna miss in school today?
Nothing. What are you gonna miss?
You want to see?
Weather outside is frightful.
Daddy, you got email.
If I did, then I gotta get some foots out. You want to help me? Hey, you faxed it.
Place to go. Let it snow.
Still working. Come back later.
New PocketNet service, only from AT&T.
This year, there's more to celebrate than just the new year. Because during the Jeep year-end celebration, we're also celebrating Peterson's 4x4 of the year, the Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited, which means great deals, like Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with your choice of 4.8% financing or a great lease of just $349 a month. The Jeep year-end celebration, brought to you by the most award-winning brand of 4x4s on earth. Check out this $349 lease at your dealer.
The clock is ticking. Don't wait to escape. Join Delta's New York Escape Plan and fly away on weekends to places you've dreamed about at savings you won't believe. Call 1-800-895-2005 to sign up. Then get ready to escape for less on Delta.
29.8 seconds remaining in the fourth. Knicks now down by 4 as former Knick John Wallace, very cocky and very calmly, sank 2 huge free throws.
Well, that's a confidence situation for him as he smiles before the foul shots.
Knicks don't necessarily, John, need a 3 right away. They do need to score in a hurry and then either get a steal or another foul. Again, the Knicks, a 10-game home winning streak. They're also 8-0 against the Raptors, a Toronto team that has blown a lot of leads down the stretch. They've lost 10 games by 5 points or less. In fact, they lost to Charlotte recently. They're up by 8 with 1:20 to go and lost the game in regulation. Johnson, Oakley, Houston, Starks, and Ward to inbound. Knicks with just 1 timeout left. Ward nearly steps inside. Starks, Oakley with a 3. Larry Johnson, the rebound. It's good. 21.6 remaining. Knicks need a steal or a foul. Stoudemire trip falls down. Oakley to Houston. And Houston jams it in. A tie game with 14.6 remaining. And Toronto will use their final timeout. The Knicks defense needed a turnover, and they certainly got it.
Well, it started out with Larry Johnson getting the perfect bounce off that missed shot from the corner. Immediate 2 points, and they had only lost 2 seconds in the process. And then the pressure by the Knicks. Here's another look at it now. Starks to Oakley. Oakley with the long one. Larry Johnson right there for the conversion, right up and in. And then Stoudemire all of a sudden had nothing but white shirts around him. Loses his balance, coughs it up, and Allen Houston finishes with the slam.
Tough to see whether or not he got tripped on it. Did not appear. Looked like he just slipped trying to get away from 3 Knicks chasing him. I mean, there's contact with foot. It looked like maybe John Stark's foot got in the way. But Stoudemire loses it, and the Knicks tie it up.
The Knicks took space away from him. All of a sudden, the big court was so small.
Larry Johnson hitting that last basket. Johnson now with 19. But again, Toronto has the ball. They are out of timeouts. Knicks perhaps should try and deny the inbound pass because, again, Toronto, if they don't get it in, they do not have a timeout.
Yes, a lot of pressure in that direction.
Knicks also have used their final timeout as well. A sold-out Madison Square Garden. They've been on their feet much of this timeout. The team battling back from a 10-point deficit in the third quarter. Battling back from 4 points down in the final half minute here of the fourth. As they try to keep the home winning streak alive. 3 times this year, the Knicks have been down by double digits and come back and won. Trying to make it number 4 this afternoon. Stoudemire has been brilliant, 30 points. And he's an excellent free throw shooter at 83%. Knicks do not have a foul to give. Neither team does. Every foul will be a shooting foul. Christie will inbound at half court.
Sean Respert on the court now, an excellent shooter. He's in for Slater, who's not a good foul shooter.
Stoudemire has it. Shot clock is off. 10 seconds remaining.
Just can't foul him.
Knocked away out of bounds. And it's still Toronto ball with 6 seconds remaining. Oakley's hustle on defense helping out. Thought he had it.
Stoudemire signaling to his teammates, come out. Come and get the ball from me.
Knicks look to deny. Stoudemire trying to get free. Stoudemire, 4 seconds. Christie with a three-pointer. It's good with 0.7 of a second remaining. The teams are out of timeouts. Dick Bavetta right now just going to have to hand it in. For some reason, the Raptors were celebrating. Knicks did not take advantage. Larry Johnson half court at the buzzer. And the Knicks' home winning streak ends at 10. A dramatic win for the Toronto Raptors, who beat the Knicks for the first time in franchise history. Some confusion there at the end, John, as the shot went in. The Knicks had to inbound. They did not have any timeouts remaining. The Raptors, figuring the Knicks were going to call timeout, started to celebrate, running back to their bench. The clock stops when it goes through. As soon as the team inbounds, it starts again. And Doug Christie, another former Knick, with the big shot, the three-pointer to win it.
Well, good pitch out and set up by Stoudemire, who had a big role in that play, and Christie could not have had a more pleasant visit to Madison Square Garden, where he spent many frustrating moments by hitting this shot.
Wide open, just took a spot on the floor and nailed the three. And again, the Knicks, the home winning streak comes to an end at 10. Doug Christie's 4th three-pointer of the afternoon, and he had struggled from three-point range much of this season. So the Knicks comeback falls a bit short. And Stoudemire didn't hit the winning shot, but he drew enough defenders to him to leave Christie wide open.
Which is why he's so tough. His ability to penetrate, draw attention, and then set up open shooters. And he did a great job.
And there you see the Raptors going over to the bench to celebrate. thinking that the Knicks would just obviously call timeout, not aware that the Knicks were out of timeouts. And there's the celebration. The Knicks did not inbound the ball right away. And then they finally realize it and try and get in to defend. And there it goes in. And the Knicks, see, Oakley looks like he's going to call timeout, then realizes doesn't have any. And the celebration from the Raptors. And then somebody says, hey, wait a minute, get back out on the floor. Everybody's stunned, certainly the Knicks players, the Knicks fans. And the game ends in disappointment for the Knicks. So the Knicks winning streak here at Madison Square Garden ends at 10. A dramatic victory for the Toronto Raptors. Final score from Madison Square Garden, the Raptors 97 and the Knicks 94. Plenty more to come. Our Knicks postgame and Giants postgame as well.